and I assume that that's probably been the case for a lot of folks, is they struggle to really lean into success and things that they learn because they don't have a payoff big enough. And so today, we're going to talk about something amazing. Today, we're going to talk about communication. Because once you get the marketing piece, you get committed to marketing, then you have to go to the marketplace and you have to start talking. What are you going to do to be powerful in your communication, persuasive in your communication, inspirational in your communication? What are you going to do to actually send a message out that lands and get somebody to move? And today we have two of the best people on planet Earth to do that. We have Pete Vargas, who's going to come out in a little bit, who's our co-founder of 10X Stages. He's a dear friend of mine and literally has helped craft the messages of tens of thousands of entrepreneurs. And because of that, has been able to generate almost $1 billion in revenue for his clients. Later on today, we also have Bishop T.D. Jakes. This is a cat, when he communicates, like, things start moving around inside you. You start getting goosebumps because of his ability to communicate a message. And so he has crafted a special message for everybody here today, and I'm so excited for him to share about that with you. You know, I want to get started by doing something a little fun. Up to this point, we've given away over $50,000 in prizes so far. Give it up for the prizes, guys. 50K. That's... So hopefully you guys are doing the work to be able to participate in this, because every day we're giving away a ton of stuff that you will actually like. These aren't just things that make you feel good. These are things that will actually work towards helping you grow your future income and money. And so make sure that you guys are participating in the homework. Yesterday's prizes that we were going to give away today for the homework, just so you guys can be reminded, we're giving away a MacBook Pro for doing the homework, and also $10,000 in cash. So hopefully you guys did the work so that you could play the game with us today. But we're giving away a new MacBook so somebody can go out. It's a tool, one of the most powerful tools you can use in business is this computer, and getting connected with the internet. It can change everything. I know people who have 7-figure businesses with almost no team and that one single device. So we're going to be giving away one of those in a second. We're also going to be giving away $10,000 in cash. Let me see a little 10X if you guys want some cash. Or they have the emoji thing going again? Do they have the emojis thing? Let me just see if you guys want to win some cash. You guys want to win some cash and prizes. Throw some love on the board here. Okay, let's get to it. $1,000 winners. These are people who successfully completed their homework yesterday. They were in the group. They did the exercises. We have Pascal, Lucky, June, Jay, Kay, Charlene, Kyle, Lawrence, Chris, and Sherry. Congratulations. Y'all just won $1,000 in cash so that you guys can put this back into your business and get started making 2023 your best year yet. Did we tag them in the Facebook? Is that what we said? So we tagged you guys in the Facebook group so that you guys can get in contact with our team and get those prizes redeemed. Give them some love. Give them some love. Next, we have the MacBook Pro winner, and this went to Jessa Lynn Packard. You just won a brand new, in the box, unopened, not refurbished MacBook Pro. Congratulations, Jessa. Is Jessa live? Is she on right now? Is she on right now? Let's get her up. We got a brand new MacBook Pro. Man, these things are amazing, all right? Is she here?
Yeah, she's in room 2. All of the book winners are tagged in Facebook. She's coming.
Okay, while we get her up, one more thing we want to give away. We gave away a bunch of books, but I just want to let you guys know today, at the end of the day today, we're going to be giving away a all expenses paid trip to the 10X Growth Conference in Las Vegas. You're going to be joining us as a VIP. We're going to cover your airfare. We're going to cover your hotel. We're going to cover your ticket of the sold-out event. This is literally, we've been doing this event for 7 years. This event is insane. Jessa, what's up, Jessa? Congratulations. You won a new MacBook Pro. We're going to get this thing shipped out to you. Congratulations. What are you going to use this thing for right here? To make money. That's exactly what I thought. All right. Congratulations, Jessa. You just won. Congratulations. Thank you for being here. We can't hear a word you're saying, so we're going to move on. Thank you so much. All right. Mo, yes, we're live, just so you know, all right? Okay, so today's prize is all expenses paid trip to Las Vegas so that you can join us in just a few short weeks, I think. What is it? Maybe 2.5, 3 weeks in Las Vegas. And we're giving away another $10,000 in cash. $20,000 in prizes will be given away today for doing your homework. So when Pete's up here and he's talking today, make sure that you guys are paying attention, burning notes. This one skill, let me just tell you what you guys are going to learn about today. This one skill, the way Pete teaches it, will show you how you can make more money and land more clients in one day than you used to get in an entire year. When I started learning this stuff from Pete, it like completely blew my mind because he connected speaking and communicating with building and growing a business. Not to just get up on stage and have everybody be seen and you be in front of an audience. It's not about that. It's about growing your business. So we're going to be giving away some prizes today for you guys participating. Now, really important here, if you guys want to join and participate in the giveaways, every single day we're doing this. We're well over $100,000 in giveaways and prizes by the time we're through with this. You need to join the community. If you go to unbreakable2023.com and you're not currently registered for the event, you're not active in the Facebook community, this is what we're doing. To make sure that we can track people down, we can find them, and we can give them things that they win. It's 100% free to join this and to be able to participate each and every day in the giveaways. So please, please, please go to unbreakable2023.com. Maybe you're watching on YouTube right now or some other platform and you haven't logged in and registered for the event yet. Make sure that you guys take care of that. Unbreakable2023.com. All right. Once you guys get in the Facebook group, super important, okay? Mike, you with me? You with me, Mike Allen? Looks like it is. Okay, Lucy, you guys with me? This is really important. If you guys want extra opportunity to get visibility with us, share the stream. Shares are one of the most important things that we can do because it allows us to get this message out in front of more people. It allows you to declare to your community, your following, your family, your friends, I'm making a difference, I'm making a change, I'm making an investment in my career, and that means the world to us. And so we go in here every day and we look at the people that have shared the stream. It's really easy to do this. If you guys just go to the stream that's in the Facebook group and you click on share and then share publicly, we'll get that out. I think we had a couple thousand shares on yesterday's stream. So go do that as well because we're giving away every day prizes for people that are sharing the stream. Did we give away any books today? I think we should give some books away. Let's give some books away. How about this? How about let's go, anybody that goes to unbreakable2023.com and registers for the event and makes a post in the Facebook group and says, I will be 10X in 2023. I want to look for a post in the Facebook group. We're going to give away 50 copies, signed copies of the 10X rule right here. This book will change your life forever. I know because it did mine, and it's done it for hundreds of thousands of other people. There have been millions of copies of this, both physically distributed around the world and via audio. So make sure that you guys go do that if you want a chance to win. We'll put 50 names up. I think we've given some books out yesterday as well. Do we have the picture? They're tagged in the Facebook group, all right? So if you guys want to see if you won a book yesterday, just go check the Facebook group. So far, guys, I just want to go over a few things that we've covered and then what we have next. And then I'm going to get Pete up here, and he's going to get started. We're going to go right into it today. The 5 pillars of an unbreakable business. These are the 5 legs of the table that you have to sit at if you want to have an unbreakable business. These are things that I've seen Grant install, not just in his business, but in tens of thousands of businesses over the last 12 years that I've been with him. These are concepts that whether you're just getting started, if you've got a big business, if you've got a small business, these are things that no matter what stage of growth you're at, you've got to have a plan for these if you want to be unbreakable. If you want to have confidence, if you want to be fearless, you have to have a plan. Number 1 is the money mindset. We talked about that on day 1. Stretching your mindset so that you're actually thinking in a scale big enough. that you're thinking about your family, that you're thinking about your community, like that you're forgetting a lot of the things that you were probably told growing up that were designed to keep you small, and dialing in on, why do I need to have something bigger than what I have right now? You guys all need to have a reason for that. For you to move from where you're at to where you want to go, you've got to have a reason to do it. And I'd like to encourage you guys, if you haven't given thought to that, like if you don't know why you need to move from where you're at, you need to give some thought to that. Like, why do I need to move? I need to move because I want to make sure my kids have every single opportunity they ever could want to have available to them in life. I want to make sure that in case my brother ever needs help, he can have help. I want to make sure that in case any of my family needs help, they can have help. You know, for a lot of folks, they get so locked in on, I just need to make enough to pay my rent and take care of my bills. It's selfish. You can't take care of people around you. That's why more is important. And so getting the right money mindset, and hopefully Grant woke you up on that, because he certainly woke me up. You got to get the right money mindset if you want to have an unbreakable business. Second thing is you got to have your marketing dialed in. Okay, you got to be able to connect with people. You have to have the right understanding of what it takes to get a message into the marketplace. There's one thing Grant told you yesterday that in the 12 years we've been growing our business made all the difference in the world. The one thing, I want to see you guys post in the comments if you can guess the one thing. There's one thing that he said yesterday that if you get this one thing with your marketing, it will change the world for you. Change it forever. Let's see, the one thing. The system is one important thing. The list, show off, be omnipresent, speed, traffic, attention, become known. Nobody's got it yet. Nobody's got it yet. Consistency, dream 100, engage, nope. Hey, can we get the chat over here moving? It's frozen up over here. Target people, automation, nope, 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 nope. Market, nope, 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 nope. You guys ready for the one thing? This will change up. Somebody just had it. It flew past. I didn't. Assume nobody sees it. This is one rule that if you guys can nail, it will change everything for you. Assume nobody sees any marketing that you send out. Assume nobody saw the Facebook post that you made yesterday. Assume nobody saw the email. Dr. Gerald got it. Congratulations. Let's get Dr. Gerald something. Let's get him a... let's get him $1,000 in the Grant Cardone store. Dr. Gerald. I don't know what room that's in, but Dr. Gerald got it. Assume nobody sees it. He's on Ustream. Oh, we got to track him down though. So Dr. Gerald, maybe somebody on our team can go up and figure out how to get a hold of him. Assume nobody sees posts. Assume nobody sees emails. Assume nobody sees ads. Assume nobody sees your missed phone call. Assume nobody sees your text message. Assume nobody sees the voicemail. If you drop by and you stop by to go see somebody, assume they didn't see the little handwritten note that you left. You literally have to assume your prospect sees nothing. And until you get to that point, I promise you, you will not push hard enough. You're going to disappear into a sea of emails, of problems, of cat videos on YouTube, bad news that's coming up on the nightly news. Assume nobody sees anything. And only then will you start getting to the right degree of your marketing where you're actually going to move people. Today, we're going to talk about communication. Today, we're going to talk about communication because you have to be able to communicate a message to people that actually moves them. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about sales. This is flipped around. Okay, tomorrow we're going to talk about how you actually get somebody to convert. This is a huge thing for people. I'm so nervous about sales. How would you like to be like so confident? I remember when I started working for Grant, I had no confidence. I was selling over the phone. I was so bad on calls, honest to God. I was so bad on calls I would hang up on myself. You guys ever been so bad on a call you hung up on yourself? I was embarrassed because I was so bad. For real. And it was like, how come this isn't working? And because I hadn't been in the material enough yet. Like I hadn't gone through. I didn't know that when a customer says this, I'm not interested, there was actually something that you could say to get them to not hang up on you. How would you like to be able to handle, I'm not interested, it's too expensive, I need to wait, we need to talk to other people, we need to shop around. How much can you discount it? Like, how would you like to know that you had a way to handle every single one of those objections? Because if there's no objection, you would call everybody. And when you figure out the sales game, like we're gonna talk about tomorrow, when you figure out the sales game, your confidence is gonna go like, you'll be unstoppable. And you'll talk to anybody because you have confidence in the outcome. And then the final day, we're gonna talk about scaling. Because selling somebody once and selling another person once and not growing your team, you're gonna stay small. How many of you feel like you're wearing 9 different hats in your business right now? Let me just see a show of hands. If you feel like you're wearing 9 hats and then you feel like you're like, I can't physically do any more. Let me just look back here. Raise your hand real quick. If you are fully tapped out, you're like, I can't do any more. I don't have the right people around me. How many of you would like to know the exact first person that you should hire? How many of you have ever asked that question? Who's the first person I should hire? What about the second person or the third person? How do I come up with compensation plan for it? How do I go from managing myself to managing a team? That's what we're going to talk about when we get into the scaling day, because nobody ever did anything significant who stayed small. And so our co-founder of Cardone Ventures is going to come in on Saturday, and he's going to talk about scaling. We also have Robert Herjavec, who's scaled multiple companies into the hundreds of millions, sharing with you guys as well. So we have an incredible rest of the week lined up for you guys. This is a journey. These 5 days, this is a journey through the most important things of business. And when you guys come out on the other end, you're going to have more confidence. You're going to have more skill set. You're going to hopefully have more connections because you're connecting with people. And when you guys take advantage of the program with the system, then you have us at your side to continue to help you guys implement this and work through it. Bonus day, this is really important on January 31st. Super important. You guys mark this on your calendar. This says the bonus day right here. It says bonus day, but really what you should put is this is the revenue day. Tuesday, January 31st is the revenue day. We're trying to keep these sessions to about 90 minutes to 2 hours. We really appreciate you guys making the time in your day to attend this. This one day here, we're gonna cover leads, we're gonna cover revenue, and we're going to cover everything that you need to know about monetizing in your business. We brought specialists in for this. Specialists with social media, with building communities, with how and when to hire the right people, running webinars online. Russell talked about funnels yesterday, like building a community online, building an email list. Russell talked about the importance of that yesterday. We're bringing experts in on that day, and they're each gonna do mini master classes on one topic that's gonna go deep into tactics. So make sure that you mark your day for that. That day right there, we could charge probably $2,000 just to show up for that. All of these folks that are gonna be here for that bonus day have businesses that are doing 10, 15, 20 million bucks a year or more. So they're all remarkable business people. And so we're super excited to bring the bonus day to you there. Day 3 today, we are talking about communication. And I'm gonna go ahead and get you guys kicked off with that right here by bringing up somebody who showed me a way to communicate with people that felt good. Like, you guys ever been somewhere before and you know, somebody's talking at you, they're talking down to you maybe, and it just doesn't feel good. Maybe you go, you see somebody deliver a speech or a presentation and you're like, man, they weren't very good at it. I don't feel good about it. This guy I'm about to bring up has an exact formula for how to craft a presentation, whether it's a 60-minute talk in front of an audience, a 15-minute webinar, or a 60-second elevator pitch at a networking event when you're trying to potentially get a customer. He's got a way to be compelling, captivating, inspiring, and persuasive in a very short period of time. He's shared this framework with tens of thousands of people over the last 10 years. And 2 years ago, we said, you know what? We need to bring you into our ecosystem because the business owners in our community, they need to figure out how to get their message out in a more powerful, more compelling way. He has helped hundreds of thousands of our community, people in our community, dial in their message. He's gonna help you do the same. He's gonna help you build confidence and conviction in what you're talking about so that you can literally move more people into your products and services so that you can ultimately achieve your goals and outcome in life. This guy's worked with the best of the best, and today you guys are fortunate enough to get to spend about 45 minutes with him talking about how to become a world-class communicator. Let me get some 10X's and everybody give it up for Pete Vargas.
Thank you. Appreciate you. Come on, let's go. Let's get into it. How y'all doing? Y'all good? Y'all good? Yeah, I've been emceeing, but now I'm gonna bring something. Here's my promise to you. I want today, when this is done, we're gonna have TD Jakes after this, and TD Jakes is gonna bring the house down. I'm just one of my mentors for a long time. And one time he communicated, and it's one of the reasons I'm married to my wife today, because of TD Jakes, me and my wife being in his church on one Sunday. I'll share that backstage with our VIPs. But today, my promise is I'm gonna give you a framework that you're gonna go deliver, not just as your homework assignment, you're gonna go deliver it on a social media channel today. And you're gonna get leads and customers today. If you're committed to getting a lead or leads or customers today, drop leads and customers in the chat. I wanna see the chat. The chat fires me up. The chat fires me up. Leads and customers today. Because if I can get you leads and customers, investing in yourself becomes a no-brainer. And so my goal is to give you a framework where you're gonna go use it in 1 minute. And yes, several of you are gonna win thousands of dollars because of delivering in the Facebook group, but I don't want it just for a contest. I want you to go put it out on social media today. And there's gonna be somebody that sees that and says, I want more. I wanna know more about what you're doing. Like your 1 minute video just compelled me to reach out. That's what we're gonna do today. That's my promise, leads and customers. And tomorrow, if you get a lead or a customer and you go share that in the Facebook group that, hey, somebody actually reached out to me and said they wanna talk with me about my business or about my product or about my service. We wanna know about that in the Facebook group today, because one of the things we're gonna reward tomorrow is action that you take today. And I believe the power of your words can land you. Jared said more customers in 1 day. How about more customers in 1 minute? Or more customers in 1 hour than maybe some of you have ever had in your business? I know this because there's a guy that we worked with by the name of Gary Brecka. And last year, anybody heard of Gary Brecka, 10X Health? 10X Health? Yeah, amazing. And last year, he had a brick and mortar business. Who has brick and mortar businesses out there? Who has brick and mortar businesses still in this digital world? Drop brick and mortar, brick and mortar, brick and mortar. I want to see that. Tina does. Is Tina the only brick and mortar? Matt does. Sheldon does. Jason does. Carmen does. James does. Gary had a brick and mortar business. And last year, in 1 hour on the GrowthCon stage, he landed more customers in 1 hour than he had in 10 years of having a brick and mortar business. Not because of a funnel and not because of lead magnets. All of that stuff's important, but because of his communication. Because of his communication. And so today, how about we break the records for leads and customers in the next 24 hours? Who wants to break some records? Who wants to break some records? Ebony, I see you. It's cool for Grant. What Grant did yesterday was so cool to see Twitter trend. You know what I want to see trend today? You getting leads and customers. That's what I want to see trend today. And so that is my intention, and that is my goal of the next 42 minutes now, is to give you a framework that you're gonna go deliver in 1 minute, and people are gonna respond to you and say, I wanna know more, or I wanna buy from you. I wanna know more, or I wanna buy from you. Does that sound good? Everybody excited about that? Come on, Nicholas, come on, Rosemary, come on, Sean, Jeff. Anybody who's part of the system, I hope in the next 24 hours, we can just pay for the system in the next 24 hours who've already made that decision. Like, that's my hope. Jim says that sounds good to him. Jamie had 4 new leads yesterday just from the homework assignment. Brilliant. Brilliant. So I'm really, really excited about that, and I'm really excited to share that. Tomorrow, the Facebook group is committed to blowing up with more leads and more sales. Now, if you don't get sales, that's okay. If you get leads, the next step is getting sales. So every time somebody responds to you saying, I want to know more, I want to know more, or I want to buy, I want you to go win in the Facebook group. Hey, I put my video out, and I've gotten 12 leads and 2 customers. I believe there's going to be some record-breaking leads and customers in the next 24 hours, and I'm excited about that. So listen, let me get started here. I want to show you how to be a world-class communicator, and then you're going to get to see who I believe is the greatest communicator in the world, help you understand what you need to do to not drop the mic. Too many people are dropping the mic. The mic is in the wrong hands of the wrong people. We need the mic in the right hands of the right people. And quite frankly, that's entrepreneurs. And it blows my mind away that the number one people would rather die than get on a stage. They would rather die than communicate. And we're gonna change that game today because I'm giving you the mic and putting it in your hands because entrepreneurs like Grant Cardone, like Elena Cardone, like all of you watching, y'all are the ones that can change our world and make it a better place and help people overcome the problems and the challenges that they have in their lives. You guys are. You're the ones. And so today, we're dedicated to helping you become a world-class communicator. Now look at all of these people right here on this screen. My team put this together. You see Grant and Elena Cardone. You see Warren Buffett, who Grant was with a few months ago. You see Stormy Wellington, who's gonna be with us. You see Russell Brunson. You see T.D. Jakes. Now, what's interesting is these are all successful entrepreneurs. And they all have different strategies. Grant's big in real estate and lots of investors, and that's his strategy. And Elena has a strategy around building an empire. And Warren Buffett is an investor in a lot of stocks. And Stormy Wellington loves IG and Instagram and social media. And Russell Brunson loves lead magnets and funnels. And T.D. Jakes feels called to change the world with the gospel. And so you got all of these different people that have all of these different strategies, but in the chat, what's the one thing in common that they all have, although they have different strategies that they use? What's the one thing they all have? Yes, purpose. Yes, they're known. Yes, systems, but they're all powerful communicators. They're all powerful communicators. And I'm here to tell you that if this skill set, this single skill set is a skill set that you will choose to make investments in yourself in, you can do anything in this world. How do I know you can do anything in this world? I love this story. Everybody might know Ryan there on the left. That's Grant in the middle. And that's his daughter Sabrina right there on the right. That's actually on a television show. What's that, Real Estate Kings right there? Is that Real Estate Kings? And Grant told me a powerful story one time, maybe 2 or 3 months ago. He told me a powerful story. And he said, Pete, our daughters are homeschooled, and our homeschool teacher came up to us and they asked me, like, what do you want them focused on? Do you want them focused on math? Do you want them focused on English? Do you want them focused on science or history, or what's important? We want to make sure their academics are amazing. And what do you think Grant said? Which subject do you think Grant said he wants them focused on? Drop it in the comments. Finance? Yeah, you would think finance. No, they can get that from dad. He said this to them: if my daughters are confident communicators, that's what matters to me. That's what matters to me more than anything else. Why would he say that? I asked him that question. He said, Pete, if my daughters are confident communicators, they can do anything in this world that they want to. That skill set will allow them to do anything in this world that they want to. And so I took that pretty serious. You see, I got 4 kiddos right here. That's my oldest, Keaton, in the middle. My 15 years old, my 13-year-old right there, Mia, my 10-year-old Emma. All 3 of those are adopted kids. My wife on the far right, Kim, of 20 years was told we would never have kids. And when we turned 40, we had Shiloh there on the far left. Little miracle baby right there. Anybody out there have adopted kids by chance? How many kiddos do y'all have? How many kiddos? I love to see the biggest number. How many kiddos? 5? 6? What's the biggest number we see right now online? 7? You don't have 77. 10? You have 77. You're wild. 10? You must be 93 years old. 7 grandchildren. Let me tell you what, since Grant told me that day, the thing that I've been focused on with all 4 of those kids is how does dad make sure that they're confident communicators? I knew the importance of communication. I just didn't realize that that was something I needed to be instilling in my kids at a young age. You know why? Do you know what people tell our kids to do? Anybody write it in the comments. What do our kids get told to do all the time? Shh. Be quiet. Let that land for a minute. Shh. Be quiet. Hey, shh. Shut up. And you wonder why we have a communication problem when we become adults. You wonder why we have a communication. That's not what I'm doing with my kids. Speak up. Share your heart. Go create that with your teacher. My son had an issue with band. I said, go communicate and you can change that whole issue. Dad, I want to go to Israel with you. You better go create it at school, son. You go create it. Your words have the power to create whatever you want. But we've been told since we were young, shh, be quiet, shut up. And I'm breaking that today. Can I break that off of every single person today? Is that cool? Can I break that off of every single person? Yeah, I'm gonna break that off of every single one of you today. I'm not gonna tell you to shh, be quiet and shut up. I'm gonna tell you to speak up. But do it from the way that I teach you today because it will be absolutely game-changing. Now, this one saying, you're gonna wanna write this down. I have never taught this in my life. And if every person in the rooms can get this, it will change the game. One of my favorite, and I'm not gonna get into the Bible, but one of my favorite scriptures comes out of the book of Revelations. And the second part of this scripture, I'm not gonna talk about the first part, but the second part says, we, meaning the world, will overcome by the word of your testimony. We as human mankind will overcome by the word of your testimony. So let's look at what the definition of overcome and testimony are. Can we do that for a second? Can I show you what the definition of overcome? Overcome means to succeed in dealing with a problem or a difficulty. So what's the outcome of what overcome is trying to do? Write it in the chat. What is the outcome that we are trying to do with overcome? What's the outcome? Succeed. 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 Drop the word succeed. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to succeed and overcome a problem or a difficulty. That's what we're trying to do. Now, what's testimony mean? Anybody want to write what they think testimony means before I drop it? I'm going to give, let's see. In room 5, you get the lucky one. What does testimony mean? I'm giving $100. I feel bad. I took this from Grant Cardone yesterday. I'm going to give it to somebody in the audience right now. Whoever said in room 5 story first, can we make sure room 5, whoever said story first gets Grant's 100? Now I don't feel guilty that I stole from him. I gave it back to the people. I gave it back to the people. So I'm gonna mail that. Whoever the first person was in room 5, yeah, the perks of being VIP, the perks of investing in yourself is somebody just got their VIP paid for right there. In room 5, whoever the first person to say story was in room 5, Rhett. And I wanna mail them that $100 bill. And this is what I'm gonna write on this $100 bill. You are an overcomer. You are an overcomer. Now go back to my slides. You are an overcomer. You're an overcomer because testimony is your story. Your story is a story where you've either overcome or you've helped other people overcome. And so the more you share your story, the more you're going to help people overcome, which ultimately means they're going to want to become customers of yours. That's the power of this. So watch this. Look at all of this. Sickness and trafficking and hunger and poverty and wars and rights. These are all recent articles. Anybody agree? You agree or disagree? We got plenty of problems to help people overcome in our world today. Anybody agree or disagree with that? You can disagree with me. Are there more problems in our world today than maybe there have ever been before? An overcomer is someone who has succeeded in overcoming a problem or a challenge. That's you. Your testimony is the story in which you overcame. And now, today, I empower you to be able to share that more with this framework that I'm about to give to you. That's what I'm here to do. Now, let me give you a basic framework, and I love this framework. There are three major areas. Three major areas that people want to overcome and succeed in life. Anybody think they know what those three major areas are? I'm curious if anybody, even in this room, knows what those three areas are. I'm going to give $1,000 store credit to anybody that I see write these three in the chat. That write these three in the chat. Ooh, Natasha got it. Natasha in room 5 got it. She got it. Sorry, room 5. Let's go to a different room up here on the screen. I'm seeing room 5 is getting to dominate here. I'm going to room 4. I think my boy is in room 4. Let's go to room 4 chat up here. That's exactly right. Look at this. Health, wealth, and relationships. Humankind wants to succeed in health, wealth, relationships. Can I make a very bold statement? Anything that you're doing in business falls under one of these three categories. Anything. This is where mankind wants to succeed and overcome in health, wealth, relationships. And you are the one that can share your story to help them do that. Health, my physical health, my mental health, my spiritual health, my emotional health, wealth. Creating more wealth through real estate, understanding how to pay my people more, understanding how to get, do whatever in the wealth category. We were on the way over here and I was with two of my good buddies and one of them said, I just want to be filthy rich. You realize the easy hook on a talk or a funnel? Are you wanting to be filthy rich? Like, people will tell you what they're looking for. I'm about to help you understand this. Your relationships with your spouse, with your kids, with your team, with building your team, with your community. Maybe you want to create more wealth in your charities or your nonprofits. These three major categories, everything that you do falls under one of them. And here's what I'm advocating today. You have the ability to help people overcome in these three areas. I want you to drop a comment down below. I want you to say, I am an overcomer. I am an overcomer. I want you to drop that in the chat everywhere because I want to feel that for a second. Wow. My heart is racing because you are an overcomer. And now you have a responsibility to help other people overcome. I don't believe God gave you the strength to overcome or understand a skill set or a business without you helping other people overcome. You're an overcomer. Now, here's the other thing. You have a primary category of which you're helping people in business. You're either helping them in their health, their wealth, or their relationships. Like even a restoration business that's helping people in their homes. When you go restore somebody's home, do you think that makes it healthier for them? Like I want you to see even a service-based business who's doing construction, and my buddy Jared just got his house remodeled, and it was a pain in the rear, and it went through like multiple months, but now it's done, and they're living there. And now the health of his mindset and his family is so much more powerful because of the fact that the house is remodeled. Like think about this, like every one of you fall under health, wealth, or relationships. That's what you're providing to somebody. And if the majority, I know there's people out there that say the human being wants, there's this hierarchy of needs and these 7 needs. And yes, some of that stuff I believe. But what I really believe is at the end of the day, people want to succeed in 3 areas: health, wealth, relationships. And you're the solution. So I'm curious, which one is your primary one in your business? Are you providing health? Are you helping provide more wealth? Or are you helping in their relationships? Which one of those 3 are you doing? I know you say all 3, but I want the primary one. Wealth, health, relationships. Yeah. Cool. What I'm here to tell you, you say, Pete, what does this have to do with communication? You've got to understand, I've realized that I didn't help people understand this baseline first. Because if I can help you understand this baseline, I can help you understand how to communicate and land more customers. Land more customers. And so this is what I want to share with you. I'm going to share 2 frameworks with you. This first framework, I've never shared. The second framework, anybody who's heard me speak, I'm just curious. I've asked this about all the other speakers. I know you have seen me as the MC. Did you know me prior to this challenge, yes or no? Yes or no? Drop it in the chat. All right, I got 3 yeses. That feels good. So if you've heard me, you're going to know the second framework. But if you haven't heard me, or even if you have heard me, you're not going to know this first framework. I want to show you the 4 C's to getting unlimited customers. Unlimited customers. Who wants unlimited customers? Customers on demand, unlimited customers. You're about to go get some in the next 24 hours. Who's with me? Next 24 hours. But you have to get this framework. You have to understand this framework right here. This is the framework, the 4 C's. And then I'm going to give you the communication framework. Part 1 of the 4 C's. The 4 C's to landing more customers. Now let me tell you, the 4th one is customers. But there's 3 parts that you have to get to before you can get the customers. There's 3 parts that equals this. This is the equals right here. Equals customers. Part 1 of getting customers of the equation is clarity. I'm curious, where are my people that are just getting started in business? If you're just getting started, write the word start. And even some of you that are in business don't have clarity. There are a few things that you've got to get clarity on in order to start your business. The first thing you've got to get clarity on is the problem that you're solving. Watch how this ties. Remember the 3 big areas that every person wants to succeed in? And where have you become an overcomer in your life? Overcoming simply means succeeding when you were once faced with a problem or difficulty. So what is the problem you're solving, And I want you to think about it how your customer thinks about it while they're sleeping at night. What do you lose sleep over at night? I'm gonna pick on Jared. Jared, what do you lay down and lose sleep over at night? What's the thought you have in your mind that you lose sleep over at night? The exact words that go through your mind, either in health, wealth, or relationships.
I think it's always for me, family. Like I'm in this hurry because I want to be to a certain point financially. And I believe that once I get to this point, like it's going to help me have choices and options with how I spend time with my family. Mm-hmm. Number one thing is family always. Yeah. But I know that immediately when I go there, the next place I go is business, because I've got to get, I know what I need to do in business in order to get there. And then in this order, and then health, because if you're not healthy, you're not waking up early, you're not exercising, your body's not alive and being the vehicle that you need it to be to accomplish all of those things, then so I'd family, then business, then health.
So he gave us some of the things that he's actually thinking about, like that he loses sleep over. And so you've got to get clear. If you just ask your audience or people on social media, what do you lose sleep over? And you post that tonight, they're going to tell you what they lose sleep over. Like, I'll tell you what I lose sleep over. Am I spending enough time with my family and not compromising time with my family? And so what's the problem you're solving? The second thing is, who are you serving? Russell said this yesterday. Who are you serving? Like, get specific. It's not that we just want you to serve one niche, but in order to call them out with your words, both written and spoken, you have to know who you're serving, the audience. And this is the one where anybody getting started in business usually misses it. What are the products and services that you can create that will help change their life? You want to know why most businesses never get up? Because this is the mindset, by the way. This is mind. Clarity has to do with mind. Watch how we break this formula down. It has to do with mind. Your mind is always cluttered. Your mind is always confused. Your mind always has a lack of confidence because you haven't gotten clear on these things. And most of you could get clear on these things in the next 24 hours if you're really committed to an unbreakable business. But this is where it starts. What do you think happens when you have these three things dialed in, everybody? What do you think happens? What do you think the next C is? What do you think the next C is? Exactly. Room 6, Corel, you $250 store credit. Then that brings confidence. As soon as I get clear on this, now all of a sudden, the next thing is confidence. This is where my heart feels inspired. I don't feel confused. My mind has clarity. My heart is ready to go. It's like I help people use stages, 10x stages, to build their businesses. And I have products and services that allow them to do that. I now have confidence in my heart. I need to give you confidence in your heart, because when you get confidence in your heart, you now know you can change people's lives. This is where you begin to understand that you can help other people overcome. And then the third C. The third C. And this is what I call, yesterday was all about marketing. This is where I call the marketing strategy. If the first thing is getting your mind clear, the second thing is getting your heart confident, the third thing is you've got to fill in the blank with what is the marketing strategy that you need to use. Now, this is what I'm going to tell you that makes Grant Cardone so unique. he uses dozens and dozens and hundreds of different marketing strategies out there. So you could fill in lead magnets, you could fill in Facebook ads, you could fill in whatever you want. This is the one I'm gonna have you fill in relation to what we're talking about today. Communication. And this is what I'm gonna have you do online tonight. To go land more leads and go land more customers. You wanna know the fastest path to customers? Get clear on these three things, which will then domino effect confidence, because now your heart is saying, I can help other people overcome. If you're not clear, they're not gonna be clear. And then the third thing is now you begin to communicate, and it becomes, write this down, the greatest marketing tool you have. Greatest marketing tool you have. And then the abundance is customers or donors or votes or whatever you're trying to get. That's what stems from that. Guys, is that helpful? Like, hey, VIP, is that helpful? Ustream, is that helpful? Now let me show you in my last 15 minutes here how to communicate. Facebook, is that helpful? Like, what's helpful about that? What was your big aha through this first framework? Because I'm about to step into a second framework. Because I believed, and I want to see that in the chat, Ustream, what was most helpful? Mark Harris said yes on Ustream. Thank you, guys. I love seeing Ustream too. I love seeing Facebook, YouTube, all of them. Our team's so amazing here. Yes. You see, the reason I started with the purpose of your story is intended to help people overcome a difficulty or a problem they're facing and help them to succeed. That's what I feel your calling is. And I believe the quickest way to do that is to land customers is with your words. It's with your words. And so what I want to do is I want to make a statement right now. Your greatest marketing tool that you have, period, is what I call your signature talk. It is the single greatest marketing tool to go here. I don't care all of the other marketing strategies. If you will just use this one, you can go land more customers in a minute or an hour than you have in a year. But you have to understand how to do this well. And so what I want to share with you is I want to share with you how to create a signature talk that you could do in a minute, you could do in 5 minutes, you could do in 10 minutes, you could do in 30 minutes or 20 minutes or an hour. Today I had 45 minutes. I'm giving you Adele, Lindsay, Peggy, Kevin Campbell, Kimberly Willis, Mike Allen. I'm giving you a framework in which to now communicate. Now, I can't go upstream and fix this problem. You have to fix this problem. When you get this problem dialed in, how many feel like clarity, I'm good on clarity, or clarity is a problem? If in the chat say clarity, I'm good on clarity. I'm good on clarity. And if clarity is a problem, right, clarity is a problem. Because what that stimulates is confidence. You now get that confidence. But then you've got to learn the framework of how to communicate. So if we start here, but this is the problem, all you're going to do is confuse people right here. This, without this, creates confusion. When you're not clear on the problem you want to go help somebody solve, it creates confusion. Exactly. Dozens of people are saying that's why I haven't started. It's exactly why you haven't started. And I want to apologize. I'm about to ask for forgiveness. To anybody who's ever heard me speak, I've jammed on number 3. This group has heard me talk about StoryBraid Framework for 4 years now. But I never went upstream to talk about clarity. Because if you don't have clarity, you're either not going to communicate or you're going to communicate with complete confusion. Nobody in the world, and I've spoken in front of hundreds of thousands of people. Jared kind of giving me tens of thousands. I don't know what he's thinking about. Not even tens of thousands. I've spoken in front of hundreds of thousands just in the growth in the 10X community. It could be millions by now if I did all the math over the last 20 years. I've never taught that. Never taught that in my life. But I was praying and I was like, man, there is a piece missing. For some of you need to stream upstream today and get clear on that clarity. Thank you, Rosina. Jared, you go read room 8 right there. Rosina, wonderful instructor. Thank you. Let's give her $100 credit right there. Rosina Marie, just speaking some love in room 8. In room 8. I wish I had another 100. I bet you. So, I'm about to get to the framework for number 3, but I have to have you understand the clarity part. The clarity part, cool? So here's the beautiful thing about your signature talk. Your signature talk is used every day. Peggy, put that phone down, girl. You want to be present right here, Peggy. Okay. Oh, I thought you had a phone, Peggy. My bad. She's just giving me a little amen right there. Okay, I see you, Peggy. Your signature talk is used every single day. Lynette, every single day on Ustream. You use it online, you use it in meetings, you use it in social media, you use it offline, you use it in a coffee house, you use it every single day. So the skill set that I'm about to give to you is something you use every single day to help other people overcome. And so it is a simple 4-part framework. And I've got 10 minutes left, and I want to teach this framework in 10 minutes to help you understand this 4-part framework. This is called the StoryBraid framework. We have trademarked this. I have been teaching this for decades because this is the framework that will captivate people. It's 4 parts: heart, head, hands, heart. Heart, head, hands, heart. A strand of 3 cords are not easily broken. I believe I'm going to take you through each one of these pieces. And your homework assignment today, where I get the ability to give you an all expenses paid trip to GrowthCon, and 10 of you are going to win $1,000 today, is based on you doing this in 1 minute. And I know you can do it in 1 minute because we just had 27,000 people compete to be the next great American speaker, where the final 4 are going to be at GrowthCon in 3 weeks. And they had 1 minute in several different cities across the United States to compete. So it's 4 parts. Part 1 is the opening heart. The opening heart. I want you to see this. There are 2 very important pieces to the opening heart. I'm going to tell you the pitch that I did on Grant Cardone 4 years ago with Jared and Grant in Grant's office. Grant maybe didn't even want me in his office that day. And that day is where I won the GrowthCon stage. It's because of this framework. It's because of this framework. The opening heart, there are 2 things that you really want to do, maybe 3, but most people can only get to 2. The first thing that you want to do is you've got to create the hook. Why do people even want to listen to you? Stay right here. Why do people even want to listen to you? I want to make sure we get this whole thing right here. Why do they want to listen to you? You've got the hook. Let me tell you what the hook means. Their win. Not your win, their win. Stop thinking about your win and think about their win. They want to succeed in health or wealth or relationships. That's the first part of the opening heart. The second part of the opening heart is here and there. What does that mean? That means they want you to understand that they are here right now. They want you to know that you know what it's like to be in their shoes. This is important. This is where a lot of communicators miss it. They want to know that you understand what it's like to be in their shoes in the health or wealth or relationships. But they also want to know that you've gone to a place that they haven't gone to, that they have not been at. This is so critical. They don't want to just understand that you know what it's like. Oh yeah, I've been through bankruptcy and I sucked and life sucks and it still sucks. And why am I ever going to even listen to you? Nor do they want to just hear where you've been and how great things are. They want to understand that you know what it's like to walk in their shoes, but you've gone to a place that they haven't gone to. And now all of a sudden they see what I call the gap. The gap. So the second thing is the here and the there. Let me tell you the third thing if you have time, and you might not have time in your minute. It's to help them understand your why, which is actually their why. My why at 10X Stages, and Jared alluded to this in the introduction, is to help people get on 1 million stages and make over $1 billion from being on those stages. So you might say, yeah, that's powerful, Pete. And I want to do it by, when is it, Rachel? 2026 or no, 2027. And where are we at today, Rachel? How many stages have our students been on? 769,000. And how much has that generated in revenues? 1.1 billion. Y'all can clap for that. I mean, gosh, y'all can clap for that. Let me tell you why that why is so powerful. Why do you think that why is so powerful? Because they find themselves in that why. I didn't say, I want to go create $50 million for me or $20 million for me. No, my why is about them. I want to help, but Pete, I can't help 1 million people get, on stages. Yeah, but I think about Susan in Phoenix, Arizona. And Susan, I get goosebumps here. First goosebumps, second goosebumps. Susan said, I just want to help 25 people avoid foreclosure this next year in the recession. That's a great why. Because now the person who's close to recession hears those words come out of her mouth and they find themselves in their why. The first thing that this heart does is it lowers the imaginary guard that people have when they first meet someone. It eliminates the imaginary guard. Now the wall goes down and they're connected with you. The reason why you're not getting customers is because they can't connect with you because you're all over the board or you're confused. But now the wall goes down. So this is the opening heart. The second piece of a great signature talk is the head. I also call this the mind. I'm going to teach this quickly. The mind. The whole part of the mind is to give them the goods. Don't tease them, teach them. Am I teaching you today? Am I teaching you today? Am I giving you everything that if you leave here on your own, you could go do it? Yes. You teach. And lots of influencers out there are telling you to just tease. And I'm like, no. What do I teach, Pete? Watch this, everybody. You teach the gap. You teach the gap. They're here. They want to be here. So you teach the gap. You teach 3 to 5 steps that will help them close the gap. That's what you do. By the way, what I'm teaching you right now, Jared said this, he was right on this. We've had tens of thousands of people pay us to write their talks. including Damon John in downtown New York City. And Damon's mind was blown after we spent a day with him. And I could go on and on and on about who we've helped. Because that's the power of your words. They help people overcome. Do you see how it's helping people overcome now? I told you your testimony helps people overcome, which helps them succeed. This is how you're doing it. Your words. The third piece is the hands. For anybody that does not know what CTA means, it means call to action. It means call to action. The third piece is the call to action. You want them to take action and go get results. Help move them from A to B, not A to Z. People will not go move from A to Z. If I try to give you the whole process of how to go win a stage in the next 24 hours, you're not going to do it. Because you're too busy or things are going to get in the way, you're going to feel overwhelmed. But if I can help you get a win in the next 24 hours, you're going to be like, wow, that helped me win. I'm in. I want to work with that person. I want to work with you. You help somebody win, and they're going to want to work with you. So I'm just going to give you a few examples. There was a girl that I heard speak who was a student of ours, and in the middle of the talk, she asked everybody how stressed they were. And people put their number up on a scale of 1 to 10. She then took us through a 2-minute breathing activity, and at the end of that breathing activity, she said, "Where's your level now?" And every single person in the room's number came down except for one. She said, "I want to give you that 2-minute meditation that you can do anytime in your office or in your home when you're stressed." What do you think happened in that room that day? What did people give her in that room that day? Who in the chat, this is building off of what Russell said yesterday, who in the chat would say what they gave? Their email and phone number in exchange for a free gift. How many of the room do you think she collected? 100%. It's not always 100%, but she did that day. You see this? Or Gary Brecka last year had 1,800 new customers come in after his call to action. Or Damon John, who his team told us went from collecting 10% of people's information to 60% of people's information because he gave away a gift that would get somebody a quick win. Your call to action is intended to get somebody to get a quick win. And the fourth part, and the last part, is the closing heart story. People told me I'm crazy when I first came into this world. They said, "No, once you give the call to action, you're done. You let them go to the back of the room. You let them do this." And nothing about that made me feel good. It felt slimy and sleazy, and I felt like I needed to take a bath in lots of these rooms because not only did they tease me, they never taught me anything, they ended with trying to get me to run to some back of the room. I felt like I needed a shower multiple times over. And so I believe you end the way you start. And you tell a story, write this down, that reinforces everything that you just taught them. You tell them a story that reinforces everything that you taught them. When you do these 4 things right here, the heart, the head, the hands, and the heart, you do it in a minute. You do it in 10 minutes. You do it in 20 minutes. You do it in, I'm now about at 47 minutes. When you do this, it is game changing. How many of you are committed to using this process and framework that's helped tens of thousands of customers across the world. How many of you are committed to using this framework in your communication? Because what I will tell you is when I got that email from Damon's team, Pete, we're now not just seeing 10%, we're seeing 60%. 60% of people. You know what 6 times more conversion does for a ministry, a nonprofit, or a business? It takes it to a whole nother level. Takes it to a whole nother level. And so here in about 2 minutes, I'm gonna bring Jared back up here because one of my mentors is up here in the house. And I need to make sure that you don't drop the mic because you now know how. I've now passed the mic off to you. I'm ready to take this mic off and give it to you because your story will help people overcome, succeeding in a problem or a challenge that you once faced. Story, testimony, your story of overcoming that is now intended to help other people. So this is what I want to do, Jared, because I believe they need this unbreakable business system. Like I just do. You guys, I'm so bullish on this. I believe entrepreneurs are going to change the world. One of my mentors, Billy Graham, said that marketplace is the next major revival in our world, which just simply means business owners are going to change our world. Marketplace is going to change our world. And so I want to gift you a couple of things. And whether you did the system on day 1, you did the system on day 2, here's the 2 things I want to give to you. The first thing is you cannot communicate if you don't have clarity. You cannot communicate if you don't have clarity. You're just going to create confusion. I need you to get clear on the problem you're solving in this world. I need you to get clear on who you're serving, and I need you to get clear on the products and services that you're taking to this world to change their lives. Your products and your services change people's lives. And if you're not clear on that, you're going to have a hard time getting started. This is something, Jared, that we've sold thousands of these for $2,000. And for anybody that takes advantage of this system, past days or here on day 3, I'm going to gift that into you. I'm going to give you that as a gift. Russell gave you a gift yesterday. I'm like, Jared, I got to one-up Russell. How many would think that would help them? How many think that gift would help them right there? Like, drop it in the comments. And the second thing is how many of you would like me and our team to outline your signature talk? How many of you would love for us to outline your signature talk? And if you don't say yes, you probably should leave this event. I'm not being disrespectful on that, but I believe your words have the power to change our world. And so there's nothing that we've given that's one-on-one. We've done group coaching, but what I'm going to do is, guys, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to make sure 30 days from today that anybody that's part of the system, my team is going to map out your signature talk one-on-one on a live Zoom meeting. I know that's crazy. I know that's wild, but I want to make sure that somebody one-on-one can speak into the outlining of your talk, not in a group setting, not in a pre-recorded setting, in a live one-on-one setting. People are saying freaking crazy. Yeah, those are the 2 gifts I want to give to you. Why? Because I want your business to be unbreakable. 2 weeks ago, we had an entrepreneur, look at your screen, we had an entrepreneur, and this is actually from our system, pay us $15,000 to map out his signature talk. And he said it was worth millions of dollars of new customers in his business. Millions of dollars of customers in his business. And so that's my gift to you. Cool? Is that a cool gift? So you guys go to grantcardone.com/system, grantcardone.com/system. This is what I'm going to say to bring it to a close. I had 15 minutes with Grant. Jared said, fly in. Grant can only meet at 9 a.m. No, I think it was 10 a.m. I don't remember. It's irrelevant. It was before lunch. And he said, you got 15 minutes. And my intention was to be on the Miami Marlins GrowthCon stage. The Miami Marlins GrowthCon stage. 34,000 people. And I got into Grant's office and Grant said, no, you actually only have 5 minutes. So that's how Grant does things. He said, you got 5 minutes. And I delivered that. And Grant looks at Jared and said, I didn't know this guy coming in here today, but this guy needs to be on our stage. And now I've been able to help tens of thousands of people build out their talks that help people overcome. And that day on GrowthCon, you see me right there. What you can't see is all the sweat in the pits right there. I was sweating. That was the biggest stage I've ever been on. This is probably now the biggest stage I've ever been on. And that day, 1,000 new customers came into my world from being on that stage. That was over $2,000 per customer. I was in tears that day. But guys, I don't just use this for stages like this. This year, I had to craft a signature talk to help Tim Tebow in his fight against sex trafficking. And I crafted a signature talk, and I was with Tim 2 times this year, and in a couple of hours, those 2 times, that signature talk raised over $5 million for his charity. Last year in a room with Grant Cardone for his charity that helps underprivileged kids, I had to deliver a signature talk that helped create millions of dollars to give kids who are at home with single parents an opportunity to understand financial literacy. Your signature talk is the greatest marketing tool you have. And today, I hope you will take it, you will run with it, and you will help people overcome. And so this is what I want to do, Jared. And Jared, you can come up here. I want to ask people in the Facebook group today, I want to ask them to do a 1-minute version of their signature talk. And I want us to give away $1,000. Jared and Grant always dropping something. No money this time.
It's all right.
I want to give them 10 businesses that are moving, compelling, that follow the framework that I just talked. I want to give 10 businesses $1,000.
Okay.
But the one that the team feels like is the best one, I want to give them an all expenses paid trip to GrowthCon. The best video. And by the way, I'm going to share that minute video tomorrow with everybody to show who the winner was. That's part 1 of the assignment. Part 2 is after you post it on our group, you go post it on your social channels, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, wherever. And I want it to generate new leads and new customers. It's not going to do that in the Facebook group, but that will do that
leads and customers for them.
For them.
Right.
For them, because as they go put it on their social channels, it will begin to generate leads and customers. Who's committed to that homework assignment?
Come on, guys, let's see it.
And the word homework right here. Homework. Dude, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Cool, guys. No, this is live. Hey, guys, this is live. People are saying this is recorded. So the homework assignment today, bro. Thank you for allowing me.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Mr. Pete Vargas. Let's go, bro. Let's go. Maybe 10 minutes. Yeah. So make sure that when you guys are posting that video that you hashtag homework day 3. Make sure you put that hashtag everywhere so that's how we can find it. Pete always gets me reflecting and like going back to a time, and I don't think we probably talk about this enough, or maybe have, but Pete's story, if you guys knew what he went through, like he's a father of adopted kids, like he has miracles throughout his life that would literally, like, he told me his story in length, And it literally had me in tears because I've got a family and I couldn't imagine myself going through what he's been through. And as he's up here talking and he's talking about your story and crafting your message, like, it gets me back to thinking about my story. When I first moved to Los Angeles to come work for Grant, like, I left my family and friends behind because I had made a commitment, right? I made a decision that I was gonna go chase a big thing for the first time in my life, and it was terrifying. And I had to go somewhere where I didn't have any friends, I didn't know anybody. Like, it was the first time I had to go figure out how to get a roommate that wasn't somebody that I'd known for years and years. Like, it was terrifying because I wasn't making enough money to get a place on my own. And I shared this in VIP the other night, but I was so broke that I slept on an air mattress for over a year. And like, I had 3 pairs of clothes, like, constantly. Like, I literally had one shirt that I would wear the elbows, that I wore the elbows out of. And I think it's important because 4 years later, I was a millionaire. I literally was 30 grand in debt. I was on unemployment. I was smoking weed every day. Like, I was a loser. And I had this moment in my life where I was like, you've got to change. And I left and I did all of these things that made me really uncomfortable. And I think it's important for everybody to understand that your situation right now, because for some of you, you're not in the air mattress. Ray, just let me see if you've been on the air mattress game before. You've done the air mattress train. Let me just see your hand right here. Let me just see your hand so I can find out who my kindred spirits are. Because I think it's important for people to understand that everybody in our company, the reason that Pete has so much conviction and passion when he talks, the reason that Grant is the way that he is, myself, like we all have stories where we were in a place where people didn't think it was going to work out for us. And so maybe you've been counted out before, or people are counting you out now, or you feel like you're living in a life that's just like way beneath where you feel like you ought to be. And I'll just tell you, for me in my own experience, being around somebody who helped me believe, it gave me something to believe in, because I couldn't believe in myself. I didn't have the skill sets, the credentials, like I didn't have any of that stuff. I could not trust and believe in myself and my own ability to go out and to do the big thing. Like, I literally, what I had to do is I had to get close enough to somebody else who I had confidence in, and that was Grant. And at the time, our business was not anywhere near what it is today. But he was at a level that I wasn't yet. And so for me, it was like, okay, whatever this guy says, I'm just going to listen to him, because he's further down the road than I am. And for a lot of you, if you feel like you're stuck or you're in a position in your business, like I know business owners who are doing $5 million a year that are feeling like this right now. This isn't just about, hey, are you broke? Are you 50 grand a year? Are you struggling to make ends meet? This literally, at any size, you can feel stuck and you can feel trapped, like you don't know what to do. And I'll tell you, the thing that bridges the gap, the thing that that takes the blinders off, is having the right information. And the best way that I can explain it is, can you imagine how frustrated it would be if you keep trying to show up and you're like, man, I got to get into the 6 figures. I got to try to make more money. Like, you want to do something bigger than what you're doing right now. And in order to do that, you need to use a sledgehammer, but somebody gave you a spoon. And your entire life, you've been trying to do the job of a sledgehammer with a spoon. This is what the right information can do for you. And for too many of us, the way our parents raised us, the people that we've surrounded ourselves with, have equipped us with the wrong tool. And so no wonder why things aren't working out for you the way that you had expected them to, or the way that you think they should. It's because you're working with the wrong tool. And confidently, I can say that over the 12 years I've been with Grant, I saw me literally go from somebody that people would laugh at and call a loser to becoming a millionaire in 4 years with the right information. So if you're 50, if you're 55, if you're 60, we had Grinnell on yesterday. She's 77 years old. It is not too late for it to happen for any of you. But you have to make a move to get the right information. You've got to stop playing life with the wrong tools. And it's not your fault if nobody's given you those tools before, but what we're doing right now is we're showing up and we're giving you the tools that you need in order to build the life that you've always dreamed of. We don't just want to give you the tools, we want to give you the blueprint. We want to give you all the materials. We want to give you a full toolbox. And we want to give you a support crew that can help you build the life that you've always dreamed of. But it starts with you guys making a decision that you actually want to do that, and that you're willing to make decisions in your life that draw you closer to that, not keep you stuck where you're at. How many of you guys are ready to make a move? Let me see a 10x in the comments if you're ready to make a big move. If you're ready to shift, if you're ready to move into the life that you've dreamed of. And by the way, that life is way more exciting than where you're at right now. I promise you, everything changes. When I went from making $2,500 a year to making $3 million a year, everything changed for me. I'm 39 years old right now. At 26 years old, if you would have told the 26-year-old Jared that you're going to go work for this guy, you're going to go move to Miami across country again where you've never known anybody, and then you're going to, you guys all together are going to end up building this multi-billion-dollar company, and you're going to be making millions of dollars a year. There's no way I would have believed it because I didn't believe in myself at the time. So I'm not asking you guys to believe in yourselves right now because you don't have to do that. All you got to do is trust us. You just got to trust the roadmap that's being laid. Grant has been somewhere I've never been. He's been somewhere you've never been. He's a freaking billionaire now. Like, things change. He sees the world in a different way. And that's why some of the stuff that you hear him say don't make any sense. Because you're like, how does that even make sense? It's because the rules of the game are different. Once you've been on the other side, you see that you could actually reverse engineer shortcuts to get you where you want to go. And that's why I want to invite you guys to join us and be a part of the Unbreakable business system. Because you've been operating with the wrong tools and the wrong information for too long. For those of you guys who are new, who have not seen this yet, I want to go through exactly what you get when you decide and you commit in a big way to get the life you've always dreamed. With the Unbreakable business system, there's 4 main components. We built this to be a quick program where you could get exactly what you need. This isn't going to take a year. You know, sometimes you're just 1 degree off from making all the difference in the world. Tomorrow, you're going to learn one question that you can ask in a sales conversation that will double the amount of deals that you get. Little fractional adjustments that you can make all the difference in the world. So the 4 components, the first thing is the curriculum. There's 5 parts to the Unbreakable business system. You have the mindset, the money mindset to get you thinking differently. You have marketing systems so that you can actually figure out how to get people's attention. Nobody knows you right now. That is your biggest obstacle, is obscurity. And then when you show up and you make this commitment and you start putting yourself out there, like Pete says, you got to figure out how to be compelling enough in your message to get people to convert. Maybe that's converting to a phone call with you. Maybe that's converting to an email lead with you. Maybe that's converting to a face-to-face appointment, depending on the business that you're in. And then you got to get the sales system. The sales system is going to help you get more people to actually give you money. Marketing gets them closer to the boat. Communication gets them closer to boat, but sales gets them in the boat. And almost everybody is playing the sales game the wrong way because they don't have the simple tools and resources to overcome the small little problems along the way that make you think like, I'm an introvert, it doesn't work for me. I can tell you that I'm an introverted person. You would never know that, but I'm an introverted person. Every time I talk to anybody and try to sell them anything, I get uncomfortable. But the only difference is I've got the mindset piece right, and I've got a goal big enough. I got 2 kids at home I got to take care of. I got to give them the dream life. So I overcome the things that hold me back because I've got a dream big enough to push me through a little bit of the pain and discomfort. And then the 5th part of the system is scaling. Because if you need to get out of the 6 figures and into the 7 figures, if you need to get out of the 50, 60, 70 grand and get up to the 300, 400, if you need to get to the 1%, you've got to, it requires people. There's no way around it. But how could you possibly be excited about hiring people if you're literally running in business with a blindfold on? It's impossible. Uncertainty is going to kill you. Imagine if you had to go on a cross-country road trip and you didn't have a map. Can you imagine if you had to go to Miami, from Miami, Florida to San Diego, California, and somebody said, you can do it with a map or without a map. Which one you want to do? The map just costs a little bit of money. That's it. But it guarantees that you're going to get where you want to go. So you got to get the roadmap. The curriculum's going to take care of that. The second thing that you get is the coaching, because we can't expect anybody to do anything on their own. How can you expect to be successful in anything without people around you? You've got unique questions, unique problems, unique circumstances, and you need to flesh that out. That's why we put together a week of coaching so that you guys could make sure that this program is dialed in for you, for the problems that you have. Maybe you work in retail and customers come to you. Maybe you make cold calls. Maybe you take inbound calls. Maybe you're in network marketing. Maybe you have an e-commerce business and you need to figure out how all these things connect together. That's what the coaching's for. The coaching is to go deeper on this stuff. And I promise you, we've allocated about 90 minutes for these coaching sessions. We're always going to go over. You don't have to stay for the whole thing, but once you guys show up, we're going to continue to show up. The third piece of this is that we're going to take the curriculum and we're going to take the coaching program and we're going to put those things together. And then when you come out on the other end of that, you will have a plan for an Unbreakable 2023 in all 5 of those areas. We're going to be going over needle-moving actions that you guys can take in your business to move forward and get unstuck and get more certain. If you're more certain, do you think you're going to move faster or slower? You're going to move faster. You're going to run around in a room fast or slow if you got a blindfold on? Slow. You're like, I don't want to run into a wall. Especially if you run into a wall a few times. You're going to be like, I'm actually not going to move at all. And for some of you, you've been getting banged around and smacked around for like years. And you're like, okay, maybe that success thing ain't for me. Because it hurts when I feel rejection. It hurts when something fails. It hurts when something doesn't work. But all you've been doing is playing with the wrong set of tools. How do people go 25 years in business and they're doing $250,000 a year? And then they change one thing. They come to one of our events. They learn a new operating system for their business. They learn how to become unbreakable. And in 1 year, they go from 250 to 2 million. It's the information that changes. So we're going to get you started so that you have an Unbreakable 2023 custom game plan. And then to make sure that you guys get started, notice how we've laid this out. Number 4 is we're going to hit you with the critical think. We're going to get you guys thinking bigger in just a few weeks at Growth Conference. So this program is over between now and February 16th. You're going to get more information on how to be successful than you probably got in the last 15 years. And you're going to be surrounded by a group of people who are like-minded, who are on the same page. You're going to be around people who are telling you, go do more. You can do this. You got this. Not, man, why are you spending money on that stuff? Why are you investing in yourself? What, you've got enough. You should be happy. Those programs don't work. It's a scam. How many of you guys heard all this stuff before? Notice the source of who's saying this. Look at these people. The most successful people in the world will tell you that you have to educate yourself. You have to develop skill. You have to be connected to the right people. The richest people in the world tell you this. But your broke-ass friend is telling you that's a scam. It don't work. Guess what? It didn't work for them. Don't let it work. Don't let the fact that it didn't work for them because they never allowed it to work for them affect the way that this works for you. So we want you to come to our biggest event of the year. We have superstars here. I'm going to show you guys a little video later about what this GrowthCon event is like, but this gets you thinking bigger in a massive way because we unpack the stories of the most successful people in the world. So you get the curriculum, you get the money marketing mindset, sales, communication, and scale leadership system. This is a $5,000 value here. If you went through and you wanted to buy all these programs, they're $1,000 each in our store. The second thing is the coaching. This happens February 4th through the 11th. Our team is going to be there. Like literally the people that help take the organization from 1.9 million in sales annually to 3.5 billion in value are giving you your time, we're giving you us your time. We're giving you our time. That's how you say it. so that we can help you guys. Okay, so that we can help you guys get where you want to go faster. Okay, that's a $10,000 value. The custom game plan, this thing's going to be priceless because it's going to give you the roadmap that you need to follow. The fourth thing is Growth Conference. We talked about this. Amazing event. Right now, this event's sold out. Virtual seats we've been selling all year long for $1,000. We're going to give you guys access to this as well. So you can take advantage of this program today, not for the $16,000 the retail price of this, but for $997. If for any reason $997 is a problem for you, we don't want money to get in the way of you doing the right thing for yourself in your future. We've got a 3-pay option for $397. If that's still a problem for you, let me just tell you, get creative. If your life depended on it, could you figure out where to come up with $1,000? Guess what? It does. Your life does depend on it. It's time you guys make a move, man. I'm telling you, it is so much better when you get on the other side. I go back and I think when I was living in the apartment, sleeping on an air mattress on the floor, and the air mattress, by the way, it wasn't even a good one. Like by the morning, my butt was on the ground, like it would lose air overnight. The life I'm living now is way different than that. And it's because of the right information. GrantCardone.com/system. You guys can take advantage of this. Pete included an incredible day 3 bonus, including his program, the clarity workshop, and the fact that he's going to put somebody on the phone with you one-on-one. Like one-on-one is really hard to deliver on for the thousands of people that we got, and he offered you guys the ability to do that. Invaluable. For the skeptics out there, if you're afraid, what happens if it don't work? We're going to give you a satisfaction guarantee. If we can't make you more money, we don't deserve yours. Fair enough? It's that simple. Because we know some of you guys are skeptical. But let me just tell you, this is a dangerous thing here because this gives you a way out. We do this for the people that absolutely feel like the only way they're going to do it is if there's some guarantee. But the only reason why it worked for me when I went to Grant is because I burnt the ships. I said, the only option I have is to move to Los Angeles and make this work. Even though I don't know anybody, even though I've never made cold calls before, like you guys got to approach this like you ain't got no option. And for some of you, paycheck to paycheck. Did you know that over 50% of people in America that make over $100,000 a year live paycheck to paycheck? So you think 100 grand's a lot? Like you think that's going to solve all your problems? Over 50% of Americans making over 6 figures live paycheck to paycheck. If that weren't enough, Grant's literally going to give you back the $997 that you invest in this program to come to one of our live events. We sell every single one of these event tickets for thousands of dollars. We're making a commitment to a big group of people right now that over the next 12 months, we can radically transform your life. And we're going to continue to show up for you. Okay? And Pete's got his bonus here. GrantCardone.com/system. I encourage you guys, get access to the thing that made all the difference in my life. My kids' future has changed forever because of my ability to produce now. My confidence is higher than it's ever been. My ability to go into a situation and know that no matter if it's a recession or if it's COVID, I know how to go out and make money now. And I want you guys to have that because it changes the way you live your life. When you don't have fear, when you have confidence, when you know that no matter what happens, you can pick up the phone or you can go see somebody or you know how to market or you know how to follow up. It changes the world. Okay, so GrantCardone.com/system. Make sure that you guys take advantage of this. This is insane. I have the privilege right now of introducing I was texting somebody earlier because they were asking, did this person speak yet? And I said, no, he didn't, and I can't wait because when this guy speaks, it moves your soul. I have never had somebody speak at our events, and we've had some of the top names in the world. Literally, goosebumps over and over and over again. My soul wakes up in a different level. and I feel called to do more. And I feel like I'm capable of more because of this man's words. He's a business leader with a media and entertainment empire that spans film, TV, radio, music, books, a self-titled talk show, and he's a best-selling author of dozens of books. He's named America's Best Preacher by Time Magazine and CNN. He's the senior pastor of the 30,000-member church, the Potter's House in Dallas, Texas. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to introduce you to one of the most powerful communicators in the world, Bishop T.D. Jakes. Let's go.
Thank you. Thank you so very much. It's a real pleasure and a real honor to have this opportunity to be able to share with all of you and to join the quorum of speakers that have been challenging you in this great challenge to maximize the opportunities that have been given you. I wear a lot of hats, as he forestated, from the boardroom to the pulpit, from a real estate ventures company to a producer of films. And I've been able to do that in part because of my ability to step away from busy to business. So many of us are so busy being busy that we never really get to do business. And we think we're doing business, but we're not really doing business because we are absolutely so busy with our hands on everything. My focus and my assignment is not to preach today, but my assignment is to challenge you about the power of communication. What separates us from lower forms of life is the fact that we are able to communicate and to communicate in so many different ways, in written ways, in oral ways, in different languages, in different genres. We are able to communicate. And we are communicating at a time that our platforms have never been bigger in the history of the world than they are right now. Technology has so connected us that I can stand here in Dallas and talk to you wherever you are around the world. And that means that as we communicate, we have to be somewhat ambidextrous in our ability to communicate with different cultures, different genders, different generations, different mindsets, different religious philosophies, different ages and groups and stages and nuances of people, and not lose sight of who we are in the process of doing that. I'm often asked, how can you have your hand in so many different arenas, from film and television and radio and music and ministry? I sit at the epicenter between marketplace and ministry. And I'm finding more and more day by day that marketplace has a tremendous impact on the social environment around us. It's not just about making money. It's not just about being successful. If you just are successful financially without purpose, you are not going to be fulfilled. And so there does have to be a certain amount of clarity, as Pete talked about, in order for you to examine yourself. Who are you? Who are you at your center? Who are you at your core? And how do you come into the market square? How do you introduce who you are into the marketplace so that you can have the breadth and the girth to communicate with the widest array of people effectively and fervently? Everything rises and falls on your ability to communicate. I like to say it this way: don't drop the mic. Anywhere you drop the mic, you lose connectivity, whether it is in a marriage, whether it is with a child, whether it is with a customer, whether it is with a client, whether it is with a staff person. It is imperative that you understand the fluency of your speech and the articulation of your thoughts and the nimbleness of wit and the clarity of your passion is so profound and has a tremendous impact on the outcomes that you're going to have in your life, that the time we spend together is going to be very, very well spent, because you must understand, if the vision is in you and you can't get it out, then it turns into frustration and it begins to eat at you, and you become cynical and bitter, and you become condescending and negative, only because you are, for lack of a better word, constipated. You can't get out of you what you've got in you. You've got to practice this. And in order to be a great communicator, it's not enough for you to place emojis and sign language. We've actually got to practice articulating our thoughts in order for people to activate action to our thoughts and activate those thoughts until our dreams become realities, until our passion becomes infectious in the lives of other people and they're able to go about that process more fervently. Pete was talking about your story. My story is simple. I grew up in the hills of West Virginia. I was raised by a father from Mississippi and a mother from Alabama. My mother was a school teacher the majority of her life. She also did employment for underserved communities to make sure that they had access and opportunities to upward mobility. And I am some culmination of the two of them. My father is a bit hard to describe. Today, they might call him a serial entrepreneur. I would rather think that he went from hustling to becoming an entrepreneur. He hustled because he had to. He hustled because he had 3 children. He hustled because people wouldn't hire him. A black man in West Virginia in the 60s and the late 50s, it was very difficult for him to be gainfully employed in a meaningful way that would feed a big kid like me and my brother and my sister. And he had to do a whole lot of things. So I went with him when he was selling fish. I went with him as he was selling houseware products. I went with him as he began to take on different tasks. And finally, he began to learn something that I want to share with you. If you make your living with your own 2 hands, you've already limited your ability to make income because you only have 2 hands and you can be here and not there and you can be there and not here. So to broaden that horizon, he started a janitorial service with a mop and a bucket and ended up with 52 employees and about 10 trucks servicing the entire state of West Virginia. And he introduced me to the importance of business, not just busyness. At the rate we're at right now, if we continue to just be busy, we're going to self-destruct. Our quality of work-life balance is going to implode. It's going to explode on our marriages. It's going to explode on our children. And it's going to have a deficit effect on our finances because you cannot duplicate yourself or clone yourself or be in more than one place. And so any vision that you can fulfill by yourself is far too small for you. And in order for you to fulfill that vision, yes, you need access to capital. Yes, you need good employees, but you also need to be able to communicate well because people cannot activate a vision that you do not communicate thoroughly, effectively, and fervently. So we're going to tell you to don't drop the mic on anything that you want to live. Don't go ghost on your marriage. Don't go ghost on your kids. Don't go ghost on your dream or your passion or internalize it and hope that somebody will understand what you're thinking because we do not do mind reading. We need lip reading. We need you to speak and to speak in such a way that you activate the things that you are after so that you can do them with passion and with gusto. People ask me, how did I get in films? I talked my way in the door. I sat in boardrooms, not pulpits. I sat in boardrooms with executives and communicated my dreams and communicated my ideas and communicated my approach until doors began to open. How did you get into real estate ventures? I talked my way into the room because it was something I had passion about. I was concerned because so many people who work in our cities can't afford to live in our cities. And the deficit of homelessness in our communities is having a devastating effect on us. I began to talk about creating pathways for people to go to work and to be gainfully employed and for entrepreneurs to be more effective because in my community, about 96% of our entrepreneurs are sole proprietorships. And they have at most 2 employees working for them. And that's not the road to get to the 1% or the 10% or even the 30%. It is the road to work yourself to death, into a heart attack, to a stress attack, until you're unable to communicate. Listen, communication is important, but it's different now than it's ever been before. It's not just the articulation of speech. It's not just the ability to be vibrant and to be connected with a particular audience, because the platforms we have now are so global and so broad. You have to be multifaceted in your language and able to speak to all types of people in one setting, from the upper echelon to the downtrodden. Everybody's listening at you. And in that particular moment, you must be able to deliver a message that is succinct, that is articulate, that is intelligent, and most of all, is quantifiably effective at reaching the demographics that you're after. And why should you limit yourself just to the demographics who think like you, dress like you, walk like you, vote like you? You want to be able to vote across the board, in and out, go back and forth, go in and out and find green pastures, as I would say, to be able to find the ability to be able to be a base and a bound, to be able to reach people no matter where they are, and to reach them effectively means that you can't just study to understand you. You also have to understand your audience. And what does it take to communicate with that audience in an effective and a powerful way does require some research. It does require some elbow grease. It does require some time invested, but you're so busy doing, you never break away from doing into being. And so we are human beings, not human doings. And if you are so busy doing that you don't have time to be, you won't really be able to find your center or understand the center of the company, the corporation, the client that you seek to be able to attain. You must understand what they need. Stats suggest today that the most effective businesses in the world are businesses that solve problems for other people, not businesses that just make you wealthy. You have to enter in not just from a place of profitability, but a place of purpose, and understanding that that purpose will bring you to profit. And if you understand that purpose will bring you to profit, if you find purpose, profit will find you. So if your business or your goal in life is to build a business, find the problem your business solves and you found your client. It's simply that simple. If your business only solves your problem, then the only client you have is you. Your business needs to be designed in such a way that it solves problems for other people, and it needs to be articulated on every graphic, on every post, on everything you do in such a way that it is provided as a solution and not just a means to your ends. You are not the destination, you are the transportation for the fulfillment of the broader community, as broad as you have the capability to be able to reach. And if you can do that, then things begin to open up for you and they begin to change. Let's go deeper in this, because I think that one of the greatest challenges is we often associate with people that are familiar with wherever we are in life, whether we're in upper middle class or lower middle class or in the 1%, all of our friends reflect our environment. And if you do that, you're not going to have the capacity to grow. Your language has to embrace your next while your life is in your now. Your language has to embrace your next while your life is in your now. Every next has a language, whether you're producing a film or whether you're needing script writers, script developers, you have to learn the language of that industry. Whether you are reading a contract and you're running into lines like most favored nations and things like that, you have to familiarize yourself with the language that goes along with what is next in your life. What is a moral turpitude clause? What is a limited liability partnership? What is a joint venture? Familiarizing yourself with terms that you might not need today, but as you prepare for what is about to happen in your life, perhaps before the year is out, you've got to get the language of your next and make it your own, and to enter into rooms that you have never entered into before, and be fluid enough to be able to engage in a conversation. And how do you start a conversation where you are an immigrant in the room? You have never been there before. You were not raised in that environment. You were not trained to be in that space. If you're talking about going to the 1%, most of us were not raised in the 1%. So all of a sudden you find yourself in a room full of people where they are flinging around terms that are just flying over top of your head. And so you're struggling to get in the room. But once you get in the room, can you speak the language that is necessary to be fluent in the room, to be effective in the room? I challenge you today that if you're going to go into all the world and all the world's systems Don't go in just giving answers. Let's go in asking questions, not assuming things, not going by what you read or what you heard or what you saw on the news or what you saw on TV, but to become a student of your next. To become a student of your next means you must visit what is next. And you must come in as a student and learn the language before you make the presentation so that you can be able to decipher what do you really want to come out of your next opportunity. I shudder to think at the many, many opportunities that I had and blew because I didn't have the language. I didn't know what to ask of the moment. I didn't know how to communicate in the moment. And so your gift can carry you into places where your experiences don't give you the validation that's necessary to be able to communicate in the spaces to which you have arrived. And because we are optimistic, by the very fact that you are watching right now says that you are hungry for something more than where you are. I don't have to be a motivator. I don't have to motivate you. Your presence in watching this broadcast says, I am already motivated. I'm here because I'm interested. I'm here because I'm suspicious that there's something else inside of me other than what I see. I may be here because I'm frustrated, because I have something kicking inside of me and I don't know how to get it out. It has to come out of your mouth. It has to come out of your speech. It has to be birthed out of your thought life. Now, mindsets determine assets. If you don't have the right mindset, you will never have the right asset. Where do we get our mindsets? We get our mindsets from the people around us, the environment that spawned us. The people that we engage with on a day-to-day basis become our norm. And so we must be willing to shatter the norm in order to explode into what's next. In my world, I call entrepreneurs good soil. And I'm busy doing what they're doing. I'm trying to train people how to develop themselves and how to develop entrepreneurial pursuits because our community is underserved. I'm concerned about it because we have about 42% of Black people own their own homes, as opposed to 74% of Caucasians, about 52% of Latinos. That 41% is an indictment, yes, against our environment and our society and the way things have been handled in the past. We can either groan about that or we can see it as an opportunity for expansion. I see it for an opportunity for expansion. Where there is need, there is opportunity. There's a chance to grow. There's a chance to create financial literacy. There is a chance to create access to capital for the building of wealth and the aggregation of possibilities so that your children grow up in a better environment and a more stable environment. That's what I'm all about. And that's what I'm here to talk to you about. And that's what I'm here to inject into your vernacular to the point that you become fluid, not just with how you feel and your frustrations and what's going on in your emotions and what may be going on with your credit, but that you might begin to engage and understand where you are now and where you want to go next and start talking where you're going rather than lamenting about where you've been or being frustrated about where you're stuck. You've got to get the language of the next dimension that you're about to walk into. This is very, very important. And if you stop talking about it, you stop being about it. If you stop including it in your vernacular and speech, guess what? Your children don't get to hear the kinds of language that causes them to see themselves as good soil and a fertile place for growth and expansion and development. If you stop using it in your language, how can you have partnership even with your partner, even with your companion, if you have not verbalized where you're trying to go? I told my wife when we got married, I said, follow me and I'm going to take you places you've never been and show you sights you've never seen. Was I bluffing? A little bit. I was bluffing at the time because I didn't know how I was going to do it. I didn't know how long it was going to take, and I didn't know how hard it was going to be. But I knew I refused to stay where I was and be limited. So I started speaking about where I was going. so that there would be buy-in to the vision, so that when the sacrificial moments came, we would have a commitment to the sacrifice that is necessary for the evolution that it takes to shatter glass ceilings, to tear down barriers, to break through walls, and to become that thing that I was born and created to be. Now understand me real good. What they call you isn't your destiny, it's just how they met you. And don't allow what people call you to incarcerate you in the prison of how they define you. She's a hairdresser. He's an accountant. She's an architect. That's a job description, but that's not all that I am. All that you are is all that is within you. And it may be more than one thing. It may be 5 things. It may be 6 things. And you must have the freedom to break the bondage of being a slave to how other people expect you to show up in the world. You have to show up in the world as you are on your inside, not as you are in your bank account, because you may not have it right now, but that doesn't mean you don't walk like it right now. That doesn't mean you don't talk like it right now. That doesn't mean that you don't think like it right now. That doesn't mean that you don't go to the places where people are about what you are about. You don't have time to convince the naysayers or argue with the detractors or get even with the people who are doubting your ability to evolve. You have to put too much energy into stepping into your next, and you have to step into it without losing your now. Because you are here right now, you're maintaining where you are, but you are learning the language that takes you in the room so that when the door opens up, you're ready. It's a terrible thing when a door opens and it catches you ill-prepared. It's a terrible thing to be faced with an opportunity and walk into a room and get somebody's attention, because busy people don't spend long. If you don't hurry up and articulate what you want in a language that makes sense, not just to you, but to them, they're going to move on to the next person. So when the door opens for you, don't drop the mic. You've got to have the language that is necessary to drive home the things that are important to you. And hopefully you've done enough research on them that there is some congruency between what is important to them and what is important to you, because those are the 2 touch points. What is important to them and what is important to you becomes the pipeline through which dreams become reality. Listen, my friend, I'm excited to have this opportunity to talk to you, because I understand how vitally important it is that we continue to communicate with the widest spectrum of thought available. I never will forget, several years ago, I made a statement unwittingly and unknowingly, and it really didn't reflect my heart, but I was sending out a tweet about us digging wells in Kenya for indigenous people that didn't have any water. And I made the mistake of using the term native. And I quickly found out for the next day and a half that that was an insulting term for the audience I had. What happened to me was I had a bigger audience than I had expansion of thought to be able to communicate. I apologized profusely, showed them it was not my heart, and used it as a learning experience, but I didn't stop talking just because I got attacked. Get over it. Get over it. Go home and soak in Epsom salt and get over it, because you've got a world to change, and you're going to make mistakes, and you're going to say the wrong thing, and open mouth, insert foot. You're going to do that from time to time, but that doesn't mean that you back away from the conversation and go back into your silos and just hang out with people who get you and understand you. Do the hard work of forging ahead into new horizons and new possibilities. There has never been another time in history that you could, from your telephone, reach all the way around the world. All of us are producing content, whether we realize it or not. And that content is being consumed not just by the people that you imagine, but unimaginable people, genders, groups and classes, associates of intellectuals and illiterate people are all sitting down at the table. And the comments coming back at you are a reflection of the wide array of people that are exposed to what you have to say. And you cannot be sensitive and successful. So if you're going to be sensitive, Give up on being successful, because if you're going to be successful, you're going to be attacked, because you're going to be noticed, and because you're going to have a learning curve, and because you're going to have to grow into the opportunities to which you have been exposed to. This kind of mentorship that we're talking about today, the kind of mentorship that I offer through my leadership, the kind of mentorship that is afforded to us by Grant Cardone, this is a huge opportunity to get out of the boat, so to speak, and to walk on the waters of possibility and evolve from one dimension to the next, and to risk the perils of the winds and waves by understanding that you are in a place of uncertainty. But that uncertainty is expansion. There can be no expansion if you must have security. There is going to be a moment of vulnerability where you are neither quite here nor there. There's going to be a moment of vulnerability where you're not certain of yourself. And there's going to be moments of vulnerability where it's okay to say, I didn't get that right. I need to fix that. How should I have said that? To enter into the place of conversation with a question is never a bad thing. A question opens up a door for you to have an experience, to have an education that informs you, that prepares you, that equips you so that you will know how to enter into that door with an aptitude and a fervency and a fire that you would not have otherwise. I'm excited. I know you can hear it in my voice. I'm excited because I feel like something is about to happen. If you are stuck on the screen and you can't move away from it, I'm feeding something inside of you, something that is about to be birthed, that is about to emerge, something that unearths you from your norm, something that decentralizes you, and it may be destabilizing. And for a moment or time, it may be disruptive. I'm writing a book now called Disruptive Thinking. It may be disruptive. It's okay to be disrupted. If you're at the end of the disruption, you're going to see the progress and growth that you want to see. You can't just play it safe and stay on the boat and have an encounter like you need to have in order to evolve. And your family and your friends and your children need to see you step off of the secure place into the wavery, fluctuating place of uncertainty and see how do you handle a storm. One of the things that's going on with our children today, they've had such security that they don't know how to handle a storm. And it may be that we haven't modeled to them what it means to get off the boat and get out into the water and do something that you have never done before. Listen, if you always do what you've always done, you'll always be where you've always been. I want to spend the last few minutes talking to you. The late Larry King said, I have never learned anything while I was talking. I have never learned anything while I was doing the talking. So great communication is dependent and predicated on great listening. If you listen at people talk who are hearing impaired, their speech is slurred because they don't hear well. If that's true in the natural, that's also true in other aspects of our lives. For example, if you are not a great listener, you cannot be a great communicator. And so there must be moments of reflection, a pause, a moment where you take a breath and listen, a moment where you ingest somebody else's information without being defensive, without waiting on them to take a breath so you can express your opinion as if it were fact. We are living in a society today that opinion is passed on as if it were fact. Everybody's an expert. Nobody is listening. So we talk at people and not to them. And in order to talk to them, when they talk, just listen. The art of listening is so important. It helps you to grow. It helps you to evolve. It helps you to become. It helps you to expand beyond the parameters of your norm. When you get in the room, sometimes you come in the room and listen before you speak so that you don't blow the opportunity to evolve to the next dimension. So what we're going to do, we're going to start looking at where we're going. We're going to get a glossary of what the language is in that arena. And we're going to write down some principal things that we need to understand that become the parameters that enable you to express yourself fluently in that new area. You wouldn't go to Germany and not learn some of the language, at least some of it. You wouldn't go to Mexico and not learn some level of Spanish, or you wouldn't be able to get around. You wouldn't go to Paris and not learn some degree of French, and you wouldn't go to Next if you don't learn some degree of articulation of speech and nimbleness of wit that enables you to be able to engage in a conversation that prepares you for what is about to happen next in your life. I really, really believe in this age where people can just click a button and turn you off. If you are stuck to the screen, that there's something inside of you that is being germinated, that is being prepared, that's being invigorated, that's being fertilized, that's being motivated, because you know that 2023 is supposed to be your year. And don't be afraid to type on the line, 2023 is my year. My year doesn't mean that I won't have any problems. My year doesn't mean that I won't be attacked. My year doesn't mean that I won't have grief. My year doesn't mean that I won't have trouble. My year doesn't mean that I won't go through trauma, but it does mean that I won't go through anything that will stop me from moving forward with my agenda. I have an agenda for this year. I have some goals for this year. I have some things that I want to see happen for this year, and my actions must line up with my words. If I'm talking one thing and my actions are doing something else, I will never get to my destination. People talking about if you're going to go to LA or go across the country, you're going to need a map. The road map must be an alignment between your actions and your speech. Your speech must be progressive and your actions must be progressive, even if it comes at the expense of annoying some people who are uncomfortable with you evolving and going to the next level. You have to decide, do you want to be liked, or do you want to progress into what is next for you? And do you have the courage to be authentic, even if you can't be described in a simple sentence? There is something mighty important, mighty great that is about to occur. If an eagle looks beside himself and sees another bird flying, he knows immediately that it is not a blue jay and it is not a sparrow, and he knows immediately that it is not a chicken. To fly at the height of eagles, the velocity has to be high enough that you have to be an eagle too. You might be stuck in a chicken coop right now, but if you're an eagle, your wings eventually are going to spread to the degree that you will not allow yourself to be entrapped by your current environment. I think I'm talking to eagles. I do not think I'm talking to chickens. You might be in a chicken coop, but you are not one of them. You might be with them, but you are not one of them. If you were one of them, you would have cut this off a long time ago. There is something inside of you that says there's more in me than what you see. So let's talk like it. Let's dress like it. Let's stand like it. Let's read like it. Let's ingest all the information that is necessary to be fluent in the areas that we're evolving to. Let's friend like it. Let's friend up. Let's help down. Let's serve down, but let's friend up so that you have the duality of being a feeder and being fed. If everybody in your life needs you, and there's nobody in your life that feeds you, you're going to become bankrupt in your ability to speak, in your ability to think, and in your ability to move. Paralysis is going to set in. Frustration is going to set in because you are in an environment where you are the king of nothingness, and everybody in your life is coming to you for answers. You want to get in a room that allows for expansion and the language of expansion and the thoughts of expansion. You want to get into a room that challenges you, that makes you a reader, that makes you a leader, that makes you a thinker, that introduces you into new rooms and new cultures and new foods and new mindsets, because we do not live in vacuums anymore. We don't just live in our neighborhood anymore. When we post anything, when we tweet anything, when we say anything, we are ambassadors globally every time we speak up. Currency in America affects Great Britain. affects Africa, affects Australia, affects Barbados. Currency flows, language flows, content flows, information flows. And so you've got to think globally, and you've got to speak globally, and you've got to listen globally so that you understand what's going on in your next. If you're not finding it in your neighborhood, it might be in your next. If you're rejected in your neighborhood, it might be in your next. If your family doesn't get it, it might be in your next evolution. Don't be upset if the people next door don't believe in your dream. They may not be the people that you are sent to. But find your audience and think globally and broad enough and big enough that you can evolve into the person you were created to be. Hear me and hear me good. If you've got a vision that you can fulfill by yourself, it's not worthy of you. If you've got a passion that you can do all by yourself, it is not worthy of you. If you've got a dream of expansion and you can handle it all by yourself, it is not worthy of you. And so this notion of I'm going to get there by myself and I'm going to own 100% of a dime rather than 50% of a million, it does not serve you well. You've got to trust somebody. You've got to move. You've got to embark. You've got to have the passion to go into new dimensions and think in such powerful ways that you do not drop the mic. Hear me good. The mic is in your hand. The potential is in your hand. The world has turned its head to hear what you have to say, believe it or not. Every time you post, every time you speak, every time you say something, the world is listening. If you don't believe that the world is listening, just say something wrong. They'll let you know real quick that the world is listening. They may not always like your page. They may not always respond to what you put on Instagram, but they are noticing you. The world has turned its head to hear what you have to say. Be sure your gun is loaded. Be sure your powder's dry. Be sure your aim is good. Be sure your feet are planted straight on the floor. Be sure that when you hold your head and your back up straight, that I get a sense not only of where you are, but where you're going. I do not despise where I came from. I love where I came from. I do not regret what I've been through. It took everything I've been through to get me to where I am. But I am not so in love with where I have been that I have let go of where I am going. I get up out of the bed every morning getting ready for next, talking about next. What do I need to do? What can I use this day to help me become better at, more fluent at, more effective at, more vibrant at? That's what causes the passion, the adrenaline to flow through your veins. That's what causes you to be interesting to talk to. Nobody wants to hear you bellyache about what all went wrong. Somebody wants to hear that hope inside of you about what is about to happen in your life. Nobody invests in bankruptcy. So we have got to get out of the gutter and the poverty of speech into the flamboyance and the rambunctious of possibilities, and to engage people in such a way that they are inspired, that they are invigorated, that they are motivated, and that they begin to understand that you have a mic, you have a voice, you have a thought, you have a contribution. You are part of a global conversation that embraces all types of people from all walks of life with clarity of thought and nimbleness of mind, that you have been called for such a time as this, and step into the center of your destiny with tenacity and courage. Though your stomach might be fluttering, your back must be straight and your head must be held high, and everything that you have ingested with your ear culminates in the next statement that is about to come out of your mouth. Your words are important. Your speech is important. Your stance is important. Your diction is important. Your clarity is important. Your goals are important, and they have to be bigger than all about you. It has to be all about us, because nobody is going to invest in you until you care about us. As I close this time that I've had to talk to you today, I want you to know that you have the mic. That's why I'm saying don't drop the mic. It's not in the other guy's hands. It's not just in the rich and famous. It's not just in the high and mighty. You have the mic. The mic is influence. And whether it's over your house or your children or just your community or your staff or your employees, the mic is in your hand. And that is the rudder that steers the ship this way or that way. If it's going to happen in your life, it must first happen in your mouth. As you speak it, as you declare it, as you give voice to it, as you put it out over and over and over again, you shall have whatever you say. You won't have whatever I say. You won't have what your enemies say. You won't have what your haters say. You won't have what the people who are detractors say. Stop giving so much power to them. You shall have whatever you say. So as we come to this junction, as we come to this moment, as we come to this close, the ears of the world are open to hear what you are about to say. Rise up to the mic, rise up to the challenge, and open your mouth and clear your throat and speak your next in spite of your now. The language of tomorrow must be developed while you are still standing in your today. And if you do that, your children will rise up and call you blessed. And all of those who invested their time, energy, talent, and skill set in supporting your dream will benefit from your tenacity, your articulation, your invigoration, your motivation, and your fervency of speech. Oh, I'm so excited. I can see you there. I can see you in the future. And you look much better than you do right now. So let's start talking in our next and handle what is in our now, knowing that weeping may endure for a night, but joy cometh in the morning. Embrace the morning. The night will pass over you. I am T.D. Jakes. I am the CEO of T.D. Jakes Enterprises. I am the CEO of T.D. Jakes Real Estate Ventures. I'm the chairman of the T.D. Jakes Foundation. I am the senior pastor of the Potter's House. I am the father of 5 children. I am the husband of 1 wife. And I am proud to be a speaker on this prestigious platform to have an opportunity to talk to this august body of listeners and to give you an opportunity to evolve to your highest and your best use. Use this opportunity. May it outlive me. May it outlast me. May it be converted into the way you look at the world. And if so, then my living and my moments with you have not been in vain. I pray that the richest and most choice blessings would rest upon you. And I pray that you would make it your business to learn a new lingo every day that embraces where you're going. And I invite you to be a part of our good soil and join in with us. If you're on the bottom level and you need somebody to pour into you, I'm raising up entrepreneurs. And I believe that together we can grow to the next level. And when it's all said and when it's all done, we'll get to the 1%. But some of us, I'm dealing with people who are still at the 30% and at the 40% so that you can evolve to the 1%. It does not matter where you start, my friend. It only matters where you finish. Grant, I love you. Thank you for the opportunity, for allowing me to speak these few moments and to pour into this tremendous audience that you have. My highest regards to you and to Pete and to all of you. Hey, brother, thank you for this opportunity. It's been a great pleasure to be with you.
Guys, will y'all give it up for Bishop T.D. Jakes? Come on. Stay there, Bishop. Stay there. Come on. Look at these comments. Hey, YouTube, Ustream, VIPs, Facebook. Bishop, we're in a pretty good size professional sports arena. That's how many people are live right now. It's like a big professional arena, you know, and the impact that you've had today on them. Like, I wish you could see all the comments. I'm gonna cut and paste a bunch of these and let you see them. Like, your words were so profound. I heard the room of 30 or 40 pulling this off, just like
saying amen in here as well. So thank you. You have been a mentor in my life, and have done. I've been following you since I was 15, 16 years old, and now I'm 44 years old. And the impact that you've had on my life through your words are so transformational. I'm going to share a little bit of that backstage today. So we're going to be with the VIPs just for 20, 30 minutes, Bishop. So I'm just so grateful for you to be here today. So we'll see you in about 5 minutes, okay?
Thanks for having me. It's been a pleasure. I'll see you then.
Okay, see you in 5 minutes. Guys, give it up for Bishop Jace. Give it up. Come on. Come on. Man. He's in unbelievable. Unbelievable. Do you guys understand the power of your words now? Do you understand the power of your words? Raymond, I don't care. Raymond, how old are you, Raymond Curry? How old are you, sir? Type it in the chat for me, Raymond. Room 2. Raymond, I don't care. Raymond 75 or 80, okay? Raymond, your words can go change this world. What you communicate can change this world. And Bishop said the same thing I said. You have got to understand the problem that you want to solve in this world and speak in their language, not your language. Speak and have a purpose of changing their lives. Because when you change other people's lives, you don't have to worry about a thing. You don't. And so the power of this day, like talk about what was your biggest golden nugget, Ron Van and Michael Healy and Sandra Roy. Like what was the biggest couple of nuggets for you today? Like I want to know that from you guys because we're about to go backstage and I'm going to do a goodwill today. Cool? I'm going to do a goodwill. I'm going to let the team know this. Hey, everybody watching, only our VIPs get access to all the recordings. They get access to special gifts that we give away every day. They get access to the Q&A backstage. I just think Bishop Jakes was so on fire that we're going to allow the Q&A to be heard by everybody today. That's what we're going to do as the Cardone organization. That's just today. That's a gift we want to give to people today. Hey, VIP, don't worry. You're the only ones that get to ask questions. But don't you think the gift of allowing him to speak a little bit more into everybody's life today? So that's what we're going to do. VIPs, get ready because we're about to go backstage here in just a second. But I got to give you a homework assignment. I got to make sure that you get this homework assignment. Like this is an important one. And we're giving Bishop Jakes spoke at GrowthCon last year. I wished I could tell you the 12 speakers at GrowthCon this year, the 10 speakers. I wished I could. But it is a powerful business event. And one of you are about to use your words to win an all expenses paid trip there. Hotel at MGM, flight, VIP ticket. I'm going to make sure that you get to come backstage with me and experience, not back virtual stage, the virtual stage that I run. I'm going to make sure that you get to see the setup of that before the conference starts. I'm going to make sure you're taken care of, but your words have to be transformational today in the homework assignment. Your words have to serve to make an impact on other people. It cannot be about you. If it feels self-centered or all about you, I promise you, you won't win one of the $1,000, nor will you win the trip. Today, there were probably 10,000 people, 7,000 to 10,000 people that did the homework yesterday. I hope tens of thousands of you do the homework today. Who's committed to doing the homework today? Can you say homework in the chat? Homework in the chat? So cool. This is what I want to do right now before we go to backstage. We're going to be backstage in 2 minutes, and this is what I want to do. Jared talked about this system. This is the Unbreakable business system. If you go to grantcardone.com/system, Jared explained it all to you. He explained it all to you. It's out of this world. It's about helping you become unbreakable as a business owner. And so I want to encourage you guys to go take advantage of that and do that.
And here's the
thing. Here's why, like last night, I just want you to know, these weren't my bonuses 48 hours ago. I prayed and I'm like, what do the people need? Like, what do they need? And I got this realization that 80% of you need clarity on the problem that you feel called to serve in this world. The person you feel called to serve. I love what Bishop Jake said. He said, friend up and serve down. Like the problem you're supposed to solve, who you're supposed to serve, and the products and services or foundation and nonprofit that you're supposed to take out. That's what this clarity training does. And we're gifting it to anybody who takes advantage of the system. And the second thing that we're doing is making sure that my team of story coaches help you hold the mic. You're holding the mic, but help you write those words to speak your next. Writing those words to speak your next. That's a one-on-one time with them on a one-on-one call. So these are our day 3 bonuses. And I want to make sure if you came into the system on day 1 or 2, you have access to these. So we had thousands of people asking us, I don't get it. No, you get it because you took action. So here's the homework assignment today. And I'm going to tell you, you're going to get extra credit if you do both things. The first part of it is I want your 1-minute signature talk. Your words around the problem you're solving and around the framework that I gave you, and you can incorporate anything that Bishop Jakes gave you today too. I want that 1-minute talk. Now, if you're 3 minutes or 2 minutes, it won't qualify. You can go live or you can pre-record this and post it in the Facebook group. And look at the Facebook group. You need to create hashtag homework day 3. Hashtag homework day 3. I promise you I will be watching hundreds of these. Hundreds of these. And if you haven't signed up for this and you're watching this on the live stream, make sure you go to unbreakable2023.com, and as you give us your email address, we send out the replay of today here in the next couple of hours, and we give you the homework assignment via email because this replay stays up for 24 hours. But we want you to go post that in the Facebook group. And then the second place I want you to go post it, is on one of your social media channels. Because I believe there are going to be people who resonate with your words that are a part of your next, that are going to make comments and say, I want to talk more with you about what you do and how you can help me. And when you go do it on Instagram or Facebook, I want you to tag me. Like I'm Pete Vargas 3, Pete Vargas 3. I want you to tag me, the number 3, because I want to watch lots of videos tonight because I'm going to speak into who the winner is. They're going to get me the 10 finalists who all win $1,000, and I'm going to make the decision on which one of those, to me, moved me, inspired me to want to be better the most. And so that's the homework assignment. I want to encourage you to do that. Tomorrow, we're going to be back here with Grant and Elena Cardone. Grant's going to be talking about the sales system, and Elena is going to be bringing some powerful, motivating words from her perspective of really building your mission and your purpose and surrounding yourself with people that can get behind you. It's going to be a powerful and profound day. I really hope that you will be here with us. Don't forget, we've got Saturday as well, and then we've got the bonus day on Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern, which is all around creating revenues. And so I want to encourage you, go to grantcardone.com/system. Take advantage of the system and the day 3 bonuses. We're going to give everybody the gift of getting to hear Bishop Jakes backstage. So we're going to play this 2-minute video, and when this 2-minute video is done, I'll be set up to have some conversation with Bishop Jakes backstage. So grantcardone.com/system. We will see you tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thanks so much.
My business, I'm actually mentoring my wife's spa. I took her from $10,000 a month to $25,000 a month, but now I'm trying to figure out how do I 10x this. So that's why my wife and her spa manager is here with us today.
My revenue, I would say from 0 to 200%, and that is within less than a year.
I was at my previous company for about 5 months, didn't get a single client. Then this past May, switched companies, started using Cardone U daily, and then I was able to increase my production from 0K to 10K a month, and the plan is just to keep doing what I'm doing, keep coming to these events, keep learning, keep growing. It's going to 10x my income and 10x my growth.
Before I started with the Grant Cardone mentorship program, I was basically, shooting in the dark, not knowing what I was doing. But then I got a little bit of guidance from the team, and I started to build a lot of confidence, especially in my sales process. And I went from doing $30,000 in 1 year to doing $30,000 in 6 months. So we're on track to do double our revenue from last year.
So before I was making $13 an hour. Now I've done, it's October and I've already done 80,000 in sales.
Our business started about 5 years ago from nothing to 2.7 million in this first year, 4 million in the second year.
I have only been open for 5 months now. Last month, just me on my own with 2 virtual assistants, I made $35,000. Prior to being introduced to Grant Cardone, I was an insurance agent making about $100,000 a year and overworking myself. Now, as a single mother, I have, in the last 2 months, each month made $30,000 to $35,000 just on my own.
We did 12,000 in January, and we did over 220,000 in December.
Boom!
It's just nuts.
Grant helped me because I was able to leave the 9 to 5 and go full-time with my business, and we generated over $2 million in revenue. Prior to Grant, I was making as a police officer about $80,000. This year, I'm gonna make $150,000 with our business.
I learned from Grant Cardone, asking for the close, how to actually build rapport, how to sell a product, how to get your offer across, how to get your offer accepted. Those techniques helped me make 50 grand in 2 months. Get off the fence, get in the game.
Welcome, welcome, welcome backstage here, and this is a treat for me, and because I can count on 1, maybe 2 hands, role models or heroes of mine, and definitely on 1 hand, role models and heroes of mine in my faith, and you guys got the chance to hear one of those today. I truly believe Bishop Jakes is the greatest communicator on planet Earth, and I believe what he's doing to empower leaders like myself, he has no idea the amount of leaders that he's moving with their words. And today, when Grant and Jared was supposed to come back up after Bishop Jakes, and I went over there, he's like, I can't follow that. I can't follow that. Pete, you got to go do it. I can't follow that. That's unbelievable. And there are people in here, Sherry and Robert and Jared and everybody over here to my left, just blown away and repeating back things what Bishop said. But what Bishop said is the power of our words have the power to create. The power of our words have the power to create. And I just want you to know, I want you guys to understand, and we're giving this as a treat to everybody today to get to hear the backstage, not just our VIPs. When I was 23 years old, I don't think many people know this story, I was a youth pastor. And I heard a message from Bishop talking about people carrying around a dead corpse, and we're walking around life with a dead corpse on us. And that's how most people live life. And at that time, I was living a life like that. And it was like I got the dead corpse off of me. Why? Because the power of Bishop's words. And then what people don't know is a couple months later, I was crazy. I was a youth pastor, and we had the largest youth group in the United States per capita. In a town of 15,000 people, we had 800 young people coming every Wednesday night. And I ran this competition. I said, hey, we're going to do this 6-week competition. And the winning grade gets to go to Dallas to go see the Mavericks, and I'm going to take all of the kids to the Potter's house as well, because I wanted my kids to get to experience his words. And I took my kids, and I was thinking, man, I hope my juniors or my seniors win. My 6th graders won, which you want to take 6th graders to the Potter's house. I took 75 or 80 6th graders to the Potter's house and to the Mavericks game, and those kids' lives have never been the same because of that experience at the Potter's house. But probably the one where his words impacted me the most, a lot of people in this room know that I've been married to my beautiful bride for 20 years. Well, there was a time in our relationship when we were dating where things weren't well, and she broke up with me. She wouldn't listen to me. And I asked her to meet me in Dallas, kind of in between her home and my home. And I said, give me one shot just to have a weekend, and let's see if we can just rekindle this. And that weekend in Dallas, I knew we were supposed to go to the Potter's house together. And we went to the Potter's house together, and Kim will tell you this story because she's always my fact check person. And all of us who have spouses know that. you know, that are speakers, especially, because speakers can make things bigger. And that weekend we went to the Potter's house, and we decided that, no, we're supposed to be with one another. And 3 months later, I proposed to her, and 21 years later now, we're still married with 4 beautiful kids. And so the reason why Bishop Jakes has had such a profound impact on my life is because of the power of his words. And guess what? The words come from the heart. Like the words of a man come from their heart. And so, Bishop, I'm so grateful for the impact that you've made on my life. I know for many years you didn't even know it, but I'm also grateful for the impact that you're making on so many other people's lives, because you can't do this, you can't fight this fight by yourself. Like, we need other people with the mics, you know, controlling the mic. And so I'm so grateful for you, for the mentor that you've been to me.
It's been a real pleasure, Pete. It's always good to see you and to sit with you and your lovely wife. I remember her very vividly, and I'm just grateful that I've been able to impact your life in that way. It is quite humbling, actually.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited. We're going to begin to take some questions. Let me ask you the first question, because it kind of erupted in here when you said this. I feel like a sensitive guy. Like, I feel like my feelings can get hurt. And right now, in this time in my life at 44, I have more haters and more people saying negative things about me than I've ever had in my life. And I know it's because of being up to bigger things in life. And, you know, folks don't know my heart. They don't know, like, what I'm wanting to accomplish. And I haven't asked anybody a question backstage. So when you said it's hard to be sensitive and be successful, I'm trying to figure out, my first question for you is, how do we as entrepreneurs navigate that sensitivity that's really easy to occur? You know, like, how do you navigate that, or what do you do with that to make sure your feelings aren't hurt, or that sense, like, what do you do, I guess? I agree with what you said, but I don't know how to handle that. So I'm going to pose the first question today.
That's a great, great question. I'm so glad you asked it, and I've had lots of experience. So I have a great opportunity to understand it, and let me respond to it metaphorically through an illustration. If a woman were pregnant with a child and she'd never seen pregnancy before in her life, and she went to the doctor and said, "Oh, I'm gaining so much weight and my ankles are swelling, I'm retaining fluid, I've got bumps on my face, and I'm craving strange things like peanut butter and Kellogg's cornflakes and all of that, and can you give me something to make that go away?" He would say, "No, there's nothing wrong with you. That goes along with it. What you have to decide is what is normal for where you're at now." And because the stage has broadened, the attacks also increase. More of this also means more of that. And you have to begin to realize that the people who are talking often don't even know you. So their summarization as to your motives and what you're about is all based on their perspective. And I'm not saying that they're dishonest. I'm saying they're ill-informed. They don't see the whole picture. Now, if somebody criticizes you and there's something to be learned from it, then that's constructive criticism. You take that and grow from it. But if it's just meant to wound, to damage, to be destructive, always remember it can't be personal, because most of those people don't even know you. Your platform has broadened. In fact, it can actually be encouraging to understand that they would not critique you if they had not noticed you.
Wow.
So if you weren't getting any negative feedback at all, it's probably because you didn't make any waves.
Wow.
If I throw a rock into a pond and it doesn't make any waves, it doesn't have any weight. The greater the weight, the more the ripples go along with that rock being thrown into the pond. And because you have more weight, and because you have more platform, you're gonna make more money. You're gonna have more influence. You're gonna have more criticism. You're gonna have more responsibility. You're gonna have more sacrifice. More means more, and you can't have more of this and not contend with more of that. And I tell you what can happen if you're not careful. You'll spend so much time trying to change the mind of the few that you stop feeding the needs of the many.
Wow.
And that's a great mistake that we often make. We change our goal from where we're going to trying to change the mind of somebody who is irrelevant to where we're trying to go. And then ask yourself this question: what do you win if they change their mind? What do you get? What is the prize if they like you? What is the prize if they speak better about you? There is no prize. There is no reward. And so you can't let that detract you. And what I do oftentimes is go on other people's pages and look at some of the vitriol that they are getting to remind myself, this goes along with being pregnant. I can't be pregnant with destiny and not gain weight and not have side effects and not have morning sickness and not have swelling of ankles. And when you understand that the symptoms you're experiencing are normal for the success that you're carrying, then you stop asking to treat the symptoms and continue to carry the baby.
Wow. Guys, I see so many of you, Bishop, just in room 7 alone, they're saying that was my question. So I hope that question, thank you, and I hope that question served you guys. Today, as we bring up a few questions here for Bishop, try to make these questions where it can serve a whole audience, like really serve a whole audience. I think it's Isa Nichols in room 1. Is it Isa or Isa? Go ahead.
It's Isa.
Isa, how are you? Welcome. I'm so glad you're here. What's your question for Bishop?
My question, good afternoon, good evening, Bishop. It's just honored to have experienced your talk today. Don't drop the mic. I am a survivor of the DC sniper shootings back in February 2002. John Muhammad came to my door and looking to kill me, but instead shot my niece, who was home at the time. Since then, I have healed, I have forgiven, and now I want to create a pathway for people to be able to restore their lives and reconcile trauma. It doesn't have to be the type of trauma I experienced, but trauma. And so my question to you today is, I feel constipated, as you said. There is so much that I can't, in me, that I can't get it out. I have released 2 books. Genesis, The Bullet Was Meant for Me. I have started a nonprofit. My second book is Restore, Truth and Reconciliation of Traumatic Experiences. And I just want to know if you could share what further that I could do when you mention so profoundly, I am constant. As you can understand, that's a lot to do. I've been speaking on speaking engagements, and that's my desire. The reason why I signed up for this was so that I can speak at different places, and I have. I'd like to go across the world and show people how God can reconcile your life from any situation.
Yeah, Bishop, what would you say to that, Bishop? Thank you.
Well, you know, first of all, I'm so glad you survived. Let me start there and celebrate the fact that you are still here and able, made yourself available that we can glean from your wisdom. I so relate to what you're saying because you want to do so much with the gift you have been given of life itself. And you're writing books, you started a not-for-profit, you're reaching out to people through all of these mediums, but the problem is they're not reaching back to you. So you don't get the feeling of accomplishing anything because everything's going out and nothing's coming in. I would put you in rooms where you can get immediate feedback from people that lets you know that you are having impact. Because you write a book, but you don't get to hear from the people who read the book. And you're providing a service, but you often don't stay around to hear the feedback that creates a satiety that says you're accomplishing something, when in truth you're doing great things. One of the greatest things in the world for me is to be in the airport or go in the mall and have a one-on-one with somebody who feels like they're disturbing me, but they're telling me that something that I did, like Pete talked about a moment ago, changed their life. But I need that feedback to feel like, am I just shooting in the air or did I hit a target? Did I hit a target? And often part of the after effects of trauma It's the feeling of ineptitude, not doing enough. You can't feel it. You can't feel it. In blocking out the pain, you have also blocked out the success feeling. And so you need somebody there to give you feedback who's not intimidated, who says to you, that was good. Most of the gifted people I know walk off a stage and wonder if that was enough. And that feeling of inadequacy comes from not having a gauge inside that says you have been effective. And I think feedback from people is a very important place for you to know that you are being effective, that you have targeted somebody, that you've done somebody some good, and then reproducing after your own kind, mentoring other men and women who have similar situations on a one-on-one basis. Watching them grow is one of the greatest experiences of my life. I love going out speaking on different conferences and platforms, but I compare none of it to pastoring my church, because I don't just preach and leave. I get to watch people grow. I get to see them become. I get to measure some metrics of my effectiveness. And most of what you're doing right now does not have any thermometer whereby you can measure your effectiveness. And when you're doing a social impact work that you are doing, sometimes you do it and leave. You say it and leave. You give it and leave. You write it and leave. And people don't know that when you walk in with courage, I come back encouraged. And often I got encouraged from your courage, and you go home discouraged because the virtue has gone out of you. One of the ways you get that virtue back is appreciation. Somebody comes back and says, thank you. Somebody comes along and says, that made a difference in my life. It's not wrong to need feedback. That's not ego. That's how you measure effectiveness to better be able to determine what needs to be tweaked, what's done right, how you can reproduce after your own kind. And then you come to a stage where mentoring becomes very important in your life, because as you mentor other people, you reduplicate yourself and it grows exponentially. I mean, you're sitting right in the middle of it. Grant Cardone by himself could not do what all of us do together. He's reproducing after his own kind and is spreading virally. How can you go viral with your message, with your mission? How can you take those books and repurpose paragraph by paragraph, biteable, what they call snackable content, into things that you can put on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter? You might not need another book. You might need to take the truth in the books you have and break it down into snackable content and repurpose it for people who don't read, into little chunks of information. How can you have podcasts where you can have conversations with other people that as you mentor them, other people can listen in and benefit from that, and thereby you feel more fulfilled because you are mass producing what you've already done.
Bishop, I love what you said, and I'm going to give you a couple of things I said as well. I love what Bishop said. What the problem I had when I got started in 2016, God called me to go help people build their platforms. And I was thinking, like, go build platforms. And so I'd start putting stuff out there in a very busy, noisy online space. And I didn't know if it was making any impact. And I saw like 13 people view it, and 11 of them were my family members. And so like I had 2 views that I'm like, I wonder if that made impact. But I realized maybe that wasn't the place to start. I knew I could build anybody's platform, but I needed to feel the validation that it was actually working. So I just went into my backyard in Colorado Springs, and I started stepping in rooms of 24, 25 people. And then all of a sudden, those, 7 of them would say, what you said worked. Like, I was able to grow. I was able to reach more people. And all of a sudden, it gives you confidence. Now, all of a sudden, there's this confidence level to say, okay, if I can do it in Colorado Springs, I can do it in Denver. If I can do it in Denver, I can do it in this nation. If I can do it in this nation, I can do it across the world. Like, we probably have 60 to 70, maybe 80 countries represented on this. And now you fast forward 5 years, and the biggest influencers in the world, I've been able to help them grow their platforms and build their platforms and reach more people. But it all started because of just making sure of a validation of this thing actually worked. Like a year and a half ago when Bishop came out with this book, it was my dream to help Bishop because of what Bishop had done for me. And at that point, because of some of the credibility that existed in the market around me, this credibility wouldn't have existed at the start. But because of the credibility, his team's like, yeah, let's do it. And I remember them emailing me. I don't know if you remember that, Bishop, but it would the amount of books. We've only promoted like 3 or 4 books in our life, and every one of them, a massive amount of books sell. Why? Because our community knows when we do that we don't do it often. And so now my dream of being able to give back to Bishop was there, but if I would have started there, I would have not made any headway. And so I really want to encourage you, like, think about your backyard. Think about those nuggets that people can watch. What did Grant say? 90% of people never finish the book, something like that, 87%. So they got this book and they're not gonna finish, which means they don't know your genius. They don't know your gifting. They don't know what you have to offer this world. Start taking some of those nuggets, like Bishop said, put those out there, and now they're gonna connect. And so that would be my encouragement to you as well. Thank you.
I want to piggyback and say just one more thing real quick to you. Jesus didn't spend, since we can talk faith, Jesus didn't spend the bulk of his time with 5,000. He spent it with 12. And those 12 people changed the world. Let's think about, since you have a not-for-profit, can we have chapters? Can we have chapters in different parts of the world? Find your 12 and they'll reach your 5,000. Jesus never fed the 5,000. He handed the bread to the 12. The 12 handed it to the 5,000. So can we have 12 chapters and divided in such a way they can be in different parts of the world? They can be in other time zones. They can be other cultures, other races, but can we have 12 chapters? And maybe we have one annual meeting where they all come together and you get to benefit from that. And on a practical perspective, people do not give or support in large degree local initiatives. When they know that it has global impact, you are able to build more funds around it because it has a greater impact. And mental health right now is absolutely huge. Yep. It is so, you've never been needed any more than you're needed right now. You've never been more valuable than you are right now. And building chapters that go out, that help people, that bring about change. And even if you don't have an event that they all come together, can we do something streaming? Can we do something through technology where we all come together and create this universal environment so that you've got a chapter in Australia and one in London and one in Kenya and one in Los Angeles and one in Lower Alabama? I don't care where it is, but they are chapters that have the same passion that you do and the same message that you do. And who cares who duplicates it? You want it to be duplicated. You want it to grow and grow and grow.
I love that. Hey, you got a mastermind today.
You all day.
Yeah, you got a mastermind today. Look, you got 2 pastors on the mic today. So, yeah, you got a mastermind. But that served a lot of people. Thank you so much. And we really believe in you. So thank you. You know what? Hey, Isa, are you there? Can you unmute her really quick?
Yes.
Yeah. Actually, can we get her contact information? I want to follow up with her directly. If she's in room 1, I want to give her a gift. Isa Nichols. I want to make sure and get her a gift. I'm going to get you a gift to help you, okay? Be looking for that for me today. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you both.
We're going to take a couple more, Bishop. Hey, Johnny from room 2, man. What is your question? Thank you for being here. Let us know what your question is today. You were unmuted.
Okay, yeah, sorry about that. Just, I got a lot of good content. Thank you, TD Jakes. One more thing is, I'm a real estate agent here in El Paso, Texas. How can I best, I got everything you mentioned, but is there like a book or a certain thing, a little quick fix I could do to be a better communicator to my clients and those people I serve?
Listen, I'll give you one today. I'll gift you Don't Drop the Mic. It's on me. So Johnny Rodriguez in room 2, I'm going to gift him Don't Drop the Mic. it's the book that you need to read. And it's an amazing book by Bishop Jakes. And so, and I would tell you, this is what I would say to you really quickly here. There's a lot of real estate agents in this world. You have to do something that differentiates yourself. Like Bishop said, don't think about the now, think about the next. So like really begin to differentiate yourself. And I think one of the things that Bishop Jakes does that I think he does better than anybody in the world is he understands everybody that's in the room. He understands the perspective of the person in the back left-hand corner, the person at the front seat. Like when you think about like even the Bible, in the Bible there will be a story and there's 5 different characters in the story and everybody just focuses on the main character. But your room is full of all of the characters. And one of the things I've learned from him is understanding how to communicate in a way, Johnny, where anybody in the room that you communicate is drawn in because you understand your room. You understand the room that you're in. And so Bishop's book will be an incredible resource for you on that. And I'll make sure I'm going to give you that gift today from us as well. Bishop, anything you would add?
Yeah, I want to say to you, I'm down here in Dallas, so I'm with you 100%. And I happen to know for a fact that almost every city in Texas is suffering from the lack of workforce housing. Most people can't afford to live in the cities that they work in. And so currently up under construction over the next 3 years, the real estate market is moving toward workforce housing in central locations so that you can move a little closer, understanding that that's where the trend is going and that's where the building and the construction is going. You want a seat at the table, not just with the buyer, but with the builders and see prospective areas where workforce housing can be realized and make sure that it penetrates your audience where you become a convener or a conveyor of information. When you come to me and you say, I want to sell you something, I won't even open the door. But if you come to me and say, I want to help solve a problem for you, you know, you're spending all of this money in gas and you're living way out in Waco somewhere and you need to be more centrally located. There's a move and a shift getting ready to happen that I think fits you in a way that would make your life easier and give you more time with your kids and solve a problem. Follow me for more information. Then you're making sure that the information that's out there gets to the people that need it. And that's where the problem is. The people that build it don't know the people that need it. Wow. And the people that need it don't know the people that build it. And you have a huge opportunity not to think so much as a salesman, but as a convener or as a pathway of prospects for people that solves problems for them, that shares information. Just want to make sure you have this information. And if I can help you with this, don't be afraid to give me a call because I have the connections to help you to get on the list for upward mobility. And these are firemen, these are nurses, these are school teachers, these are first responders. These are people with moderate ranges of income that our cities need in order to survive. And you need to be in the room with the planning committees, with the regional chambers of commerce that are building, and so that you can get a tip on where the city is going and then can carry that information back like bees carrying honey back to the hive, so that I don't see you as a salesman. I see you as a friend convening and conveying information that solves a problem for me. And guess what? If you brought me the information, you're going to get the sale.
Yep, that's right. I love that. Johnny, great question, man. Thank you for that. Thank you. Hey, I love what Lonnie or Lori says. They say, hey, all real estate agents, are you hearing this? You got to pay attention. And listen, you can take what Bishop just said and relate that to real estate, or you can take and say, be the one who solves the problem. And, you know, he talked about the builder and the buyer in that case. Be the convener, be the connector, be the one that makes that happen. That's not just for real estate, that's for anything out there. Now all of a sudden people don't look at you as a salesperson. They look at you as the one that's connecting and bringing the problem and the solution together. And there's nothing like being on both sides of the problem and the solution, because you become the hero in that. And I'm not saying that for self-indulgence. I'm saying that because you get to bring something very powerful. So I love that. Hey, we've got room 3.
Question for me.
And I hear some background. Janita, or just a Janita? Juanita? I can't see. Janita. Janita, great to meet you. Welcome, and what's your question today?
Thank you. Hi, Bishop. I'll be at church on Sunday.
How you doing?
Good. Thank you for having me. So I'm in clinical research, and Grant said the other day that people who make over 100,000 kind of get stuck. And because of the work that I do, I know that it helps other people in the long run. Big Pharma gets a bad rap, but the intricacies of the research that I do helps people in the long run with either a cure or their quality of life. So, and I say that because my brother passed away from multiple myeloma in 2013. And because of the information that I learned, I was able to advocate for him. And he lasted another 4 years, right? So I guess my question is I started a nonprofit for him, and thank you for the information that you gave Isa, Bishop. That helped me a lot. But how can I change what I'm doing to help other people in a broader spectrum instead of just for me? Because what I make is good for me and my family, but how can I get that to be more for other people?
I think training other people to do what you do, letting somebody in the room that you're in, bringing somebody to the meetings with you that you go to, letting them get the mindset that you have. If it's one person and then 3 people, and then let's buy out a table at an event that we're having, a luncheon that we're having that exposes more and more people, and then take them out for coffee and let their creativity dive on it. You'd be amazed what creativity does with opportunity. If you take 12 people that are creative and put them around a table with an opportunity, they will see things that you didn't see. Yep. And then debrief with them on how can we expand this and reduplicate it, especially if there are different generations, different cultures. I meant to say something about this in my talk, but I didn't. Diversity, equity, and inclusion is one of the quickest ways to grow anything. Because we have diverse experiences, we bring different creativity to it that would not normally be there. And most people stick with their own people group. And when you do that, you do it to the detriment of the infusion of diverse creativity that comes from people from different walks of life. So get somebody that's Latino, and get somebody that's Asian, and get somebody that's 25, and get somebody that's 62, and let them all sit in the same room, and then compare notes, and let's hear what everybody heard. And then weigh in on that creativity. It'll give you fresh perspective. One of the problems that comes, the cap isn't just at $100,000. The cap is the drain of creativity. Most of the time you spend all of your creative ideas and you just run out of gas. And so you need cross-pollination to reboot it. And the young people today, they do amazing stuff with our ideas. They've got amazing ways of doing it. My son will tell me, oh, Daddy, you need to take that and put it on here and put it over there and put it on TikTok, and let's move this over there and do that, and things that I wouldn't even think of to do that I would have never thought of to do. And then somebody else will come along and say, what are we going to do about childcare? Well, all my children are grown. So I'm through thinking about that. So that doesn't readily pop into my mind. And then somebody says, why don't we make a Spanish version of it? We currently at our church translate our messages into 80 different languages. Wow. Being able to broaden your perspective beyond your experience causes exponential growth. And the stats say the more diverse a company is, the increase tends to come out to about 20% more profitability because they didn't stay amongst their own neighborhood.
Wow, that's so good. That's so good. Hey, thank you for that question. And I love you being here. Thank you for that. Let's take one or two more for Bishop here. We got Phil, is it Philip? Philip?
Hello, yeah, it's Philip.
Hey, Philip, well, how are you, man? What's your question? How old are you?
So I'm 16 years old, turning 17 in a couple of weeks. Now, I live in Switzerland, so I don't have the problem that I go in depth when I go to school. But now I have the question, I finished my mandatory school years. What kind of school should I go into without getting bored by useless subjects, which won't get me anywhere in life?
Bishop, I'm going to let you tackle that one first.
Well, let me tell you something. Every business you want to talk about is a tech business. Every business is a tech business. Medicine is a tech business. Transportation is a tech business. Food service is a tech business. Somewhere in that realm of tech, you can focus in on courses that align with technology, not just buying it, building it, fixing it, recreating it, coding for it. Anything in that realm of science, technology, engineering, and math are going to be a home run in any country. It's going to work for medicine. It's going to work for transportation. It's going to work for food service. And COVID only expedited the necessity of STEM-based programming. And so I think in the long run, at the end of the day, if you were my son, I would encourage you to hover somewhere around something to do with technology, whether it's gaming, producing content for gaming, anything to do with technology. Entertainment is using technology. Medicine and surgeries are using technology. Every industry across the board is in some way a tech business, and you can't go out of demand. If they downsize over here, they're going to upsize over here because technology is the wave of the future. Artificial intelligence, all of that is going to round out making us live longer, changing the way surgeries are done, changing the way brain operations are done, changing the way we receive mail, the way we learn information. Gosh, a few courses that are bullseye on center. The more I talk to tech people, the less they're interested in college degrees. They're interested in people who have bullseye right in on courses that are relative to get you right on the job training and work your way up into the positions you want, or start the company that you wish you could get a job at. Be that company, and you'd be surprised what it'll do for you.
I love that. Philip, I'll add one little nugget on here. I have a young boy that just turned 15, and he's my oldest. And what Bishop said, love what he said. I would add a component to really begin to understand entrepreneurship. I had a mentor who he sold his company for a lot of money, a dog food company out of Hereford, Texas. And I remember just studying him when I was 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. His name was Garth Merrick. And I just remember being so enthralled by being an entrepreneur because where I came from, I grew up in the inner city of Dallas. I didn't know anything about entrepreneurship. Like, that wasn't in my vocabulary. That wasn't in my next. That was not my now. Like, I didn't know what that meant. And so I would couple entrepreneurship with the tech space. And I think with those two things, you'll be unstoppable. My son's going through some entrepreneurship stuff right now. And Dad's giving him on-site training as well. And I've seen Grant do that with his kids too. Parents out there, like, if you're with your kids, my kids travel to things with me. They go to meetings with me. They sit in boardrooms with me. And they're not always like entertained, and they're not always grasping it now, but I know they'll grasp it next. I know they'll get it. Like, I know it'll stick. I trust that. So parents, I want to encourage you, take your kids with you. My kids go with me a lot to meetings, to speaking engagements, to client meetings, to everything. So Philip, thank you for that question. We're going to answer one more before we let Bishop go here.
Thanks, Philip.
Look at Jovan. Okay, listen, you said you got a powerful one, man. I saw you in room 5. So Jovan, what's your question today?
Hi, thank you for giving me this this opportunity to talk to you guys. I know you guys gave us the homework to post on Facebook, but you announced that it's not only VIPs watching the questions today, so I wanted to know if you would give me the honor and privilege to give my speech to everyone here as well.
If you can do it in a minute, I will let you do it if you can do it in a minute. Because I love your boldness. So you got 60 seconds as though you were doing it, and I love that you asked that. You have not because you asked not. So let's see it in a minute, and then I'll let me and Bishop give you a little. You okay if we give you some feedback?
Yes, please.
Is there a way to get a clock on the thing so we can see 60 seconds? Okay, so be ready.
I will try my best to make this as concise as I can. I'm very sorry.
No, it's okay. It's okay. You stepped up. Bishop, we asked everybody, I want them to share their minute story in the Facebook group. We'll probably get 10 or 15,000 people that do that, of the problem that they're committed to solving in this world and a piece of their story that goes with that. And so our team's going to be going through all of those in the next 24 hours. And so well, let's see Jovan practice it. So we set, team? All right. Can you see me okay?
Yes, I can see you fine.
Okay, go ahead. Start it.
I've seen the great things that you guys have done, Grant, Pete, Elena, Jared, and TGJ. And I want to become someone that can do the same amount of good as you guys have done. I live in California, and it is the state with the highest amount of homelessness. And I want to make a change in that. Last month, my family had another scare of being homelessness. This is the third in my life. And I realized that we were just living, and just living isn't enough, and I want to make a change. Now imagine this. I bring up 3 homeless people. I hire those 3, and they find 3 more and do the exact same thing. And that's 12. Now imagine if those 12 help 3 people each. Soon, we will have enough people to solve the homelessness problem, not only in California, but in all of America. Because let's be honest, America has too much money to have this many homeless people. But I can't teach to become the best person that you can be if I don't do so myself. So will you guys help me and allow me to take that first step and invest in my first real estate deal? Billionaire Andrew Carnegie famously said that 90% of millionaires got their wealth by investing in real estate. And I think that is the best way for me to make something myself the quickest, because I am only 19. If I can make something of myself quick and fast, then I will have all of this time in my life to make my goal happen.
Jovan, great job, bro. Great job, man. Great job. Now listen, here's the beautiful thing. You're going to get to clean that up. There's some definitely powerful things in there. You're going to get to clean that up and do it in a minute in the group. You probably went 1 minute and 15 seconds, and that's okay. We put you on the spot, and I'm so proud of you, man. I'm proud of you that you even asked. Like most people, I saw your comment and it said something like, I've got something so important to share. And I can see your pain right now, my man. I can see that you are committed to this. I can't even imagine what that's like, because I've never been faced with that. And the fact that you've been faced with that 3 times, bro, my heart hurts, but I'm also optimistic on the other side, because I'm like, I feel like there is a young man that wants to do something about this. I was in San Diego with Grant Cardone a couple of months ago, and everywhere we looked, Jared, there was homelessness everywhere. And Grant's like, I can't believe this. Like all of this homelessness that's happening. And so there's a couple of things. You asked for something today, and I'm proud of it. You were on the biggest stage of your life today, my man, and I want to tip my hat to you for that. The second thing is, bro, I connected with it right away. Like right away, because I could feel your pain and I could feel that you want to do something about it. And I love that, man. So I'm very proud of you, and I can't wait to watch the video today. Bishop, what would you add to that?
I think you've got a great story. I'm sorry for the price it costs you to have the story that you do. I also was touched by what you had to say and how important it is and what you must have seen for that seed to germinate in your heart. And I would encourage you to get to a safe place so that you can help other people. If the Bible says the blind cannot lead the blind, because if they fall in the ditch, there's not anyone to help them get up. And so if you can get to a better place, then that's step one. Then step two, you can reach back and help somebody else. Your passion to help people is admirable. The truth of the matter is you got to get to safe yourself and heal enough to reach back and bear the weight of helping people. Because when you start trying to lift people, they're heavy. They have all kinds of problems, drug addictions, despair, trauma, prostitution. There's all kinds of underlying causes to homelessness that you and I both understand. So the first thing you got to do, in the words of Jesus to Peter, save thyself. Get yourself up. And that's not being selfish. That's just getting to a stabilized place so that when you start pulling other people up, they don't always come up easy. They don't always respond the way you think they would respond. A lot of times they're heavy, they're hard, they're not always loyal to the drive that you have. And so you have to be strong enough to bear the weight of pulling them out. If I don't swim that well and you start drowning, I may not be able to save you because I haven't got to safe myself. But if I can get to safe and stick out a rod to help you, I might be able to pull you in even though I don't swim that well. And so I want you to get a good, sure footing up under yourself any way you can that's legal and lawful. Get to safe where you can really make a difference in life. And I have a good feeling about you. I think that all that you have gone through is going to be the energy and the fuel that makes you turn into a great man, because it is not always what you are running to that makes you great. It's what you're running from. And you see where you don't want to go. That has got to become the wind beneath your wings to make you take life more seriously, to make you work more fervently, just to get to safe. And once you get to safe, then the ideals that you have of reaching back and helping other people can be realized more realistically as you get to a safer place yourself.
Bishop, that is incredible. And Jovan, I am so proud of you for coming up here, man. Make sure you tag my name in the Facebook group. I want to watch that. And I believe what Bishop says. I believe a lot of people share the testimony in the midst of the testimony and not on the other side of it. And that's what he means by safe. Like, I'm so excited to see, and I see the same thing he sees in you, and I'm looking at the monitor. I'm not looking at the camera because I can see your eyes. And I believe exactly, I think you are someone that can do it. Follow those wise words from Bishop Jakes. And I'm excited to see what you go create in this world, my friend. I'm so excited. So, Jovan, thank you, man. Thank you.
Thank you. And if any of you guys are interested in helping me, could you contact me at my email? Sorry, I just had to throw that in there.
Go post your video. That's what I would say. That's what I would say. Listen, you guys got to remember something Bishop said today, and we can take him off this monitor. One of the things that Bishop said is, like, always be there to serve. Like, the reason that I'm in Grant's world and the reason that I have the opportunity to be in Bishop's world is because of that possibility to serve. Like Bishop said, I don't want somebody coming up on my door, knocking and selling. I want to first feel served. And when I feel served, like, everything else takes care of it. Like, everything else, the tithe comes in, the customers come in, the whatever comes in. The more that we serve people powerfully, like, the rest takes care of itself. Bishop, it's always a treat, man. I'm always the one, like, we got to have Bishop Jakes. Like, people in my circle, you got to have Bishop. You got to have Bishop at that event. He needs to be in the business world. I know the impact that he's having on the Potter's House and on Dallas and in local communities. But I feel like, guys, you feel like when he steps into the business world, it's pretty dang profound. Like, do you think more business owners and entrepreneurs across this world need to hear Bishop Jakes? Yeah, the chat's lighting up. So, Bishop, it's always a treat for me. Any final words from you before you leave today for our crowd? We still got a sports arena here, which is just crazy to me, live right now.
I just want to thank you for the opportunity. I recognize that I have the duality of both calls on my life, both the marketplace and the ministry. And to some people, they're strange bedfellows, but all throughout scriptures, I mean, Paul did it, Peter did it, so many other people did it. Jesus put 12 people around the table. None of them were rabbis. All of them were business people. And I think that there is a great possibility for business and faith to hold hands without desecrating one from the other. And it's my privilege to serve. That's why we're working. That's why our real estate ventures already exist. That's why I'm working with Amazon. That's why I'm doing the things that I'm doing. Right now, I'm shooting for Lifetime TV. As we speak, we're shooting another deposit of 7 Deadly Sins for Lifetime television, and on and on and on. I'm getting ready to do something, not only discipling entrepreneurs, but getting capital for startup and some of the things that you're talking about doing. So I am in that space, but I don't always get invited to speak in that space. And so you gave me a chance to vent that other part of myself. Thank you for that. And thank you to all of you that are listening. I'm proud and happy to be a part of this great event. And if I helped anybody, that just makes my day. So God bless you. Thanks again.
Bishop, love you, man. I love you. Thank you. Awesome, guys. Hey, drop some love for Bishop Jakes in the comments. What a treat. It's always a treat. Don't drop the mic. You got it. Don't drop the mic. You got it. I feel pretty complete after hearing that young man's story, and I can't wait to hear his story. How many feel extremely inspired and understand the power of your words today? The power of communication. Like, I'm curious, just out of today, as we wrap up, and we're gonna be done in 2 minutes, as we wrap up, what was most impactful for you today? What was most impactful for you today? Yeah, that last, definitely. We can all agree that Jevin's story was very impactful. What was useful? What are you going to take from the day? And I hope, most importantly, you go post your story. You get that thing dialed in a minute. You get it dialed in, and you really share what you're going to go do to solve problems in our world. And what you're doing to solve a problem. Because you have overcome, and now we have a calling for all of us to go help be overcomers. And we do that through the power of our story and the power of our testimony. So I can't wait to see all these homework assignments. I wanted to put the focus on Bishop Jakes today. I'll be back tomorrow with Grant in the VIP. And if there's some questions that you have for me, you can ask tomorrow in relation to today. Remember, there's going to be 10 folks that get $1,000 that are, it's our way of seeding some money into their business. But one person, we're going to be able to show their video to the whole crew, and they're going to be coming out to GrowthCon, all expenses paid trip. This is what I want to encourage you to do. And I said this, guys, if we can roll that up here, I don't have my clicker, but I really want to encourage you guys. GrantCardone.com/system. GrantCardone.com/system. I want to encourage you to go there. The day 3 bonuses, and y'all can come back to me. The day 3 bonuses are the clarity training and the one-on-one coaching call to help you dial in your words and dial in your signature talk. Those are 2 profound day 3 bonuses. And so I hope you take advantage of that. Thank you guys for an amazing, amazing day 3. I'll be back here as your MC tomorrow for day 4. Invite some folks. We got 2 days left of this challenge, and then we have our bonus day on Tuesday. God bless everybody. We'll see you guys tomorrow for day 4. Thank y'all.